Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master today. Today, we are having a very special charity session of the Fantasy Flight Star Wars role-playing game, Age of Rebellion. And this particular session is brought to us by the very kind donation of one of our players tonight, George Strayton. So, George, first off, thank you so much for your very generous donation to the Heroes Save Villages campaign. I appreciate the support that you've given to the campaign, and I hope to make life miserable for you and your players in the next couple of hours.
I'm sure you will. No, I'm happy.
Wait.
You couldn't make it more miserable than it already is. But
So for tonight, we have a bunch of new faces on the stream. So I will ask, I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. I'll ask you to tell us who you are, who you're playing, and where we can find more about you. So first up is George.
My character's name is Kiro Star Skimmer. He's a daring ace pilot. And he's got a tiny bit of a backstory that his sister was taken from their home world when it was invaded by the Imperials, and he's trying to figure out a way to find her and get her back. But in the meantime, he's joined the Rebel Alliance and wants to do as much damage as possible along the way. I don't have too much of an online presence, but I'm working on a really exciting new TV series for Netflix that I'm up in Toronto at the moment shooting, called October Faction, which was just announced. So I've been having a good time up here in Toronto and excited to play some Star Wars.
Very cool. Next up is Eric.
Hi, I'm playing Kai Rizdal, not to be confused with the NPR host, Kai Rizdal. But it made me realize that Kai Rizdal, the real one, is clearly using his Jedi name, so I was going to steal it. But Kai Rizdal is a bounty hunter who was getting on in years and decided he was going to settle down, found a woman, fell in love. He was going to do one more job to finish up, so he told the love of his life to wait for him on Alderaan, which was blown up by the Death Star. So that kind of broke him. He's now kind of a rage monkey. He's a cutter. He's cuts on his arms, ritual tattoos and stuff, and he's basically out to get back at the Empire in any way he can.
He also listens to Bauhaus and Nine Inch Nails 24/7.
He does, yeah. Much like the real Kai Rizdal.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I don't have a big online presence. I guess I'm at erictrueheart.com, my long neglected website. I generally write for animated cartoons. I also have a recently neglected podcast called The Army of Drunks, which you can search for. And there's a lot of really good back episodes that talk about history of cocktails while we all get drunk and talk to interesting people.
Nice. And next up is Wes.
Hello. My name is Wes Kobernick. I'll be playing the Jedi Guardian named Trey Kimek, and he's from the pre-Civil War era, frozen in carbonite by his master, and just recently thawed out to help the rebellion and carry on spreading the Force. Side. As far as online presence, I don't have much of an online presence, but you can look out my latest project at twinsonsinterplanetary.com.
Cool.
Perfect. And last but not least is Ptolemy.
Hey, I'm Ptolemy Slocum. I'm playing ASIG, a real early prototype droid Empire spy. It's in the body of one of those original droids from the Clone Wars. But his intelligence was experimentally grown from infancy until sentience. But his mother, the scientist that was developing the personality of this droid so that it could actually infiltrate better to be more human-like, lost favor with the Empire and then was murdered. So It's basically it's an AI that was kind of cut off at the intelligence level or the maturity level of like a 13-year-old boy.
Oh no.
Both, but is very effective and unknowingly charming. So he has both crossed and double crossed the Empire and the rebellion more times than he's aware of over the course of the years, because each of them just take him and can kind of like mold him. He's obsessed with Jedis and believes he has a Jedi sword, but it's really like a lightning sword. But he thinks it's a lightsaber. He's actually not even really good at fighting. But that's like his mentality. He's a spy. I'm at Ptolemy at Twitter. I got my own name because it's a weird name. And I'm also on that show Westworld. You can watch me there.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay, guys. So let's jump into things with a cold open.
Whoa.
So what we see is a kind of a greenish brown world drifting in space. There is a swirling kind of brownish colored clouds that drift around above the kind of sickly brownish green surface beneath. And we see zoom past us, wow, this kind of like insect looking cruiser. And it goes down onto the planet. As it passes, we see white letters appear on the bottom of the screen, Ord Mantell.
Uh-oh.
As we cut and we see the ship landing on Ord Mantell, it is full of the surface itself is full of mist, and not like the lovely morning going to be dispersed by the sun. It's that sick industrial kind of miasma that hangs around. There are a bunch of figures that are walking around near this spaceport where this bug-like ship lands. And all of them are either concealed in masks or wearing hoods or otherwise concealing their identity. So we can't really see what species any of these creatures are. The bottom of the bug-like craft opens up, and we see two short, kind of stocky figures with large bulbous heads walk out. These two figures, we know because we are clever Star Wars viewers, are Gans.
Cool.
These two make their way along. As they pass, there's a droid that starts walking up towards them, and the one Gan turns towards the droid and says something in their weird, chirpy kind of language. And the droid stops, nods, and then turns and goes back to whatever it was doing before. And they make their way along. We follow these figures as they make their way through the town that's grown around this spaceport, and it's all these dark, stained sandstone kind of prefab structures. If you think of like Mos Eisley meets like a English industrial town, that's kind of what this place looks like. There are sad, broken down people sitting outside of some of these establishments, and it has there's one street we reach where it seems to be the only source of real light, and that's because there is nothing but cantinas for about 6 blocks along this thing. These guys make their way along, and where the rest of this planet and the rest of the city we've seen has been nothing but gloom and depression and oppression from the atmosphere and whatnot, this seems to be a stark contrast. But the celebration we're witnessing here is not like, hey, it's VE Day, so we're all happy and whatever else. This is the celebration of people who live on the edge of death. These are people who are, if there's violence, there are people crying right next to people who are laughing. They make their way through this crowd of scum and villainy and then into one of the establishments. They walk in, and the crowd inside is very, very full. There is, of course, that Star Wars equivalent of Muzak, where they're playing a version of the Cantina song.
Every damn cantina has the same damn song.
Whatever that Bith or whatever band has incredible, talent.
Yeah, they got it licensed everywhere. They can retire on that. Yeah,
exactly. So these two Gand walk in. They look around, and then they see sitting alone and sort of lit from beneath from one of the lamps that sits at these tables is a Feline. And a Feline, I actually didn't get the if I can picture one, but a feline is a tall, kind of like oblong, green-skinned creature. If you're familiar with Prince Jaizor's character, from who I think appears in Clone Wars at some point.
Yeah.
Right. So he, this is a member of his species. So this angular, features, and in the movie version of our campaign, this guy is played by a younger Tim Roth.
Oh,
Whoa. Was the younger Tim Roth available? That's really cool.
Yeah. He was quite the get.
Yeah.
So as he's sitting there, so these two Gand come walking over, and they sit down, and the feline looks over and says, "I trust you won't require beverages." And one of the Gand says, and says, "Very well. Tell me, how do we know which of you is Zibeth and which is Silar?" And they sort of sit in silence. And he says, "Not one for small talk then. To the mission at hand then. You've seen the details." And the Gand kind of, oh, hi, sweetie. The Gand nod their head, and he places this small little hollow like device in front of them. "You understand then? No disintegrations. He must come alive." And they, well, and then the feline sort of arcs an eyebrow and says, "But that's what the price is for." He hits the thing, and this image comes up. And what we see is that blue glowing hologram that we are all familiar with.
Uh-huh.
And this is the face we see.
Interesting.
It's Amon Calamari.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And he says, "You will have to bring us Dr. Pakabar." And with that, the two Gand pick up the device, they stow it in their compartment, in their what do you call it, inside their like robes, and they leave. The feline, we see, pay his for his drinks, and gets up and he leaves. And as soon as he steps outside the cantina, there's the raucous activity outside in the street. He opens up a communicator, and there's this kind of robed figure, stocky, not like Darth Sidious kind of tall and sinister, more just someone concealing their identity. And the feline says, "It's done. They've been dispatched." And at that, he puts it away and then disappears into the crowd. Camera pans up. We go back to the stars, and we see the title of our adventure today, The Calamari Caper.
Awesome.
And we now cut again to, or rather pan down, I guess, from space and onto this now very, very blue orb. And this is a marked contrast, whereas the other looked a sickly, unhealthy, greenish brown. This is a beautiful dark blue with bright white clouds swirling around on it. We cut to there and or onto the surface, and we hear this, where we see, I guess, the surface of this roiling ocean, and we hear the crash of thunder. And as we pan up, we can see there are clouds that have lightning dancing behind them, and then there's this, bright flash of lightning that outlines this enormous Star Destroyer. And we hear the signature sound of the TIE fighters zoom by.
Cool.
And from within the clouds as well, we see this ship drift down. And it's got a bit of an unusual configuration in that it's got wings both going sideways and then also up. And for those listening at home, this is what the ship looks like.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Hey, spoiler, is that us? Is that our ship?
That is it. Yes.
Just leave the
What?
You're getting
I
ahead
just
of
want to know
getting
whether,
ahead of the story.
how much do I need to pay attention, all right?
Uh,
And by the way, Dr.
just-
Pakabar, his neck, can we talk about that neck later?
winter there.
If we can find
Yeah.
it.
The lag.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Or
That's
icicles.
So
kinda
this
scrotal.
This vessel goes down, it skims along the surface of the black roiling ocean, and as it passes, we can see that it's headed towards this large upthrust kind of structure, and it seems to be coming right out from beneath the waves. And as the lightning flashes, we can see it's a bright white color as well. And as we get closer, we can see that it's actually this enormous structure of coral.
Mhm.
And as the ship flies towards this entrance that is built right into the side of the coral, where there's, if you can picture like the big entrance hangar on the like Star Destroyers or the Death Star, but just into the side of this coral. The ship goes in, its wings kind of fold, and it goes in and lands within this busy hangar. And the hangar itself is a hub of activity. There's landing crews that are running around. There are other ships that are, hurriedly being boarded or having things taken off. And we then see the white letters come again. The planet Hydara. This vessel lands, and we, of course, know this is the Celestial Bantha, the ship of our stalwart heroes for today. I actually don't know where the fucking landing stuff is on this one, but we'll just say it goes down.
I like to think the landing gear is just super long, like really awkwardly long.
You don't,
it's like a tripod.
Yeah.
You don't ask a ship about its landing gear.
That's point taken.
All right, fair enough. I'm just saying it's got to land somehow, and it's all going to come out.
So this lands. There's a big platform that kind of goes down. This mist and smoke that or not mist, the whatever it is, the exhaust, I guess, that comes out of the thing concealing who's coming down, so they can come out in a dramatic reveal.
Mm-hmm.
You guys walk down, and why don't we go one by one here, and you guys can describe for us who we see come down. So first up, Kiro.
So Kira comes walking off. He's he looks like he's some kind of ex-smuggler type. He's got an interesting looking heavy blaster. Appears to have some kind of stock that would enable it to become a rifle. Kind of got a swagger. He's a little bit, the image I picked for him was Brad Pitt in World War Z. So a little shaggy, in his, somewhere in his mid to late 30s. And he's got one hand on his blaster, and he's just kind of checking the place out, very cautious.
Okay. So you make your way down. Next is Eric. So you are Kai.
Kai comes down, and Kai is dressed in a guy who is dressed as he's not dressed as a bounty hunter because you don't advertise your presence, but he's got some very worn street clothing, which if you look carefully are probably armored underneath. He has a leather jacket that looks like it's probably seen more than just keeping the rain off people. He's got 3 days of beard, and he's got very shifty, beady eyes that are scanning the entire world, just scanning the environment for something he can punch. But he's scowling. He looks like the sort of guy you would not ask for directions, and he has with him a blaster carbine that he will use to whatever it is he feels is appropriate. Shoot, I think he's going to shoot something with it eventually.
Okay. And next down is Dre. What does Dre look like?
Dre is not dressed in the typical Jedi robes of the past. He's got sort of a black cape. Yeah, you could almost mistake him for a Sith, but he has blackish light armor on with rebel insignia, lightsaber visible. He's got dark hair, green eyes, but if you were to look into his eyes, you would get the sense that he doesn't quite see you. He's perpetually has this 1,000 light year stare.
Well played.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. And then we see a droid come down as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to share this link with you. I don't know if that works.
I should be able to open that. Let me.
Oh, there's the chat window.
Okay, there we go.
And Eric, if you go into the cog and change your display name, you could put your character name in there.
Got it.
Did that work?
Let's see here. It's just loading right now. Oh, perfect. Yeah. This is the droid commando?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, shit. I hit
Is that
something.
correct? I sent another one that should work. So basically, behind them and looking around furtively is a droid. Looks like the classic old school droid from the Clone Wars. Soft, round facial features. Kind of looks like a child. This one happens to be a child. He carries a sword, kind of like a samurai. He's painted completely over. Kind of looks like several layers of paint over time with different personalities or a bunch of scars. Some of his limbs are different than the original make, where he's been rebuilt. But he's kind of a shambly compilation of robot parts with bright and youthful eyes.
Okay.
Did you get the second link?
I did. Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So as you guys make your way down, you're sort of surveying the chaos that's going on, and you're keeping an eye out for a gentleman named Masking Balan. You've heard that Masking Balan is your local rebel contact, and this is what Masking looks like. He's a Chagrian.
Ah.
And as you're looking around, you hear this officious kind of voice that has that distinctive Imperial accent. Excuse me. Excuse me.
I'd look around and see who's calling for us.
You look over, and it's basically, you guys know who DJ Qualls is?
Sounds very familiar.
I have his first album.
Okay.
Oh,
It's an Imperial officer played by him. So this tiny, scrawny kind of, guy who says, excuse me.
Do I look like I could break him in half?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all Kai wants to know.
So the lot of you also look over, and he comes walking over. He's got that gray uniform on that Imperials wear. He's got the little, whatever it is, the beret.
That hat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hat that's made for punching? Yeah.
Yes. And he makes his way over. He says, "What are you doing here?" And we kind of come back to you guys, and that's when we transition to a flashback.
Oh, cool.
And what we see is, that preparation room we see in Return of the Jedi, where everyone's sitting around and there's the planning meeting and whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's that same room, and standing before you is Crix Maydeen.
Cool.
You may remember with the strangest
Crix.
hair.
Old school Crix.
Yep.
Is the beard real? Is it fake? What's the deal with the beard?
I think it's
Funny
painted on.
postscript. So I was actually, because I wanted to read the backstory on him today, and apparently he, I guess when he auditioned, he had the beard and then shaved it for this thing.
Oh, you're...
Yeah, and they showed up and they're like, "Dude, we've got your action figure in process right now with a beard." So that is a fake beard.
That's
Hang on, I'll go around back.
I knew it.
yeah, nice spot, Tommy.
I know
Yep,
a fake beard when I see one.
you got it.
That's great.
100 credits to the guy who can yank the beard off Crix Maydeen.
Exactly.
The carpet face fighter.
Before the four of you, with this, his hands behind his back, and he's grabbing that weird stick that he, was carrying in Jedi. And he says, "Now, I suppose you're wondering why you're here."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also wondering about that beard, but I don't say that.
Good.
Yeah, you're all looking at strange. You can make eye contact with the beard rather than the
Yeah.
eyes.
Eyes up here.
Yeah.
He says, "Now,
It says my breasts are down here. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You've no doubt heard that the bulk of the rebel fleet is engaged, or the rebel forces are engaged with an action on Felucia. You won't be going to Felucia.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me,
Okay.
are you familiar with a planet called Hydara? And to get the dice rolling here, guys, would you all kindly, let me just set the difficulty here for you. Oh, shit. So normally we, in the game, what you do is you roll and you have light side and dark side points that sort of transition back and forth between the DM and the players. I don't use that system because I just don't. So what each of you have, you can each assume you've got basically 3 light side points that you can use to change basically to make your dice pool better. You can use it to re-roll a dice pool as long as you didn't roll any despairs.
Okay.
So like basic crit failures you're stuck with, but you can re-roll the other dice.
Yeah.
You can use it to make a small edit to a scene. So if you want to change something in the scene, you can do that. That's a way to sort of like, your characters are assumed to be capable, trained experts in their areas. So if there's something that your character would have done that you would need to quickly edit, like something you need to bring with you or you would have placed or whatever, you can use it for that.
Okay.
You can also use it to buy hits. So if you narrowly miss on a success on something, you can buy a success, or you can buy advantage.
Cool.
So it gives you a little bit of an opportunity. And then as you guys as we're going through, I will leave it to you guys to nominate when people should get extra force points.
Okay.
So if someone does something funny or clever or whatever, you can I'll leave it to you guys to say, oh, that deserves whatever.
I was able to intuit his beard. I think that's pretty good.
I'm gonna
use the force for that.
I was gonna ask, can I use a point to shave the beard? Like, which I think if we were to re-edit the whole scene, that
I will. You gave me an opportunity to share Star Wars trivia, so I absolutely you get it.
All right.
I think that's fair.
Okay, fair enough.
Cool. That sounds great. And then, Kevin, how do you do the dark side points for you?
Dark side points for me is, for the purpose of today, is going to be whatever
you feel like
difficulty.
I like it.
Okay, Kevin says, you know what? Screw that. I'm rolling again. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, the fact that just for when you guys play again, or if you're going to play Star Wars again, the thing that I found that was a problem with that mechanic is you kind of have to make sure players are using the light side points all the time, because you do need those dark side points to trigger red dice usually. Unless the players are specifically facing some other person, they're never going to have despair on an uncontested roll. So if it's just a matter of like making a difficult flying check or whatever, so I didn't at first. I wasn't comfortable with waiting for that to try and like juke the difficulty of the dice pool. But for today, I'm just going to set, like, if I need to set it at like 2 reds and 1 purple, I'll just do that.
Yeah, no, that's great. We're all about the story, so that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay.
Okay, so let me set the difficulty here, and then what I would like you guys to each do is to roll your gosh, I can't remember what it's called.
One of the knowledge skills.
Yeah, it's one of the knowledge skills. Let me grab the character sheet here.
Yeah.
Outer rim, yeah, please.
Outer rim. Okay.
That's perfect.
Okay.
And if you click on the skill, it should make the roll for you.
Got it. Rolling my rim roll. So I click on it. Do I have to scroll up to see it?
It should.
Yeah, mine's not doing it for some reason either.
All right, let's see what's going on here.
Okay.
I, for one, blame the DM. But let's see. So ignore outer rim. Let's see here.
Oh yeah, and I just tried a couple other skills too, and none of them are.
I wonder if I need to enable the dice or something in the settings, or.
It should.
Which one are we going for? History or?
We're going for outer rim under knowledge.
Oh.
And it was working earlier because we were doing some testing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I blame I do really blame the DM now.
Weird.
Okay, let's see what is going on here.
If I go onto like some other sheet and come back.
Oh, my DM pool is lagging out here. Let's see.
Okay.
So it could be on my end. 1 sec.
Yeah. You guys have seen the Star Wars movies, right?
What?
You guys have seen those Star Wars movies, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, okay.
It's kind of obscure, I know.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
No, it's Tommy. No. That's the
What?
other.
This one?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the other one.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute. It's the ones with like Dumbledore and shit. Is that the ones?
You're getting closer.
Okay. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's wizards.
Yeah.
The Hobbit.
It's the Hobbit movies.
Not the Hobbit, dummy. It's Lord of
Yeah,
the Rings.
wasn't the third Hobbit movie a Star Wars movie?
Yeah,
No, it was. That's true. No, I'm completely mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, and then now they're joining it with Marvel. So
Chewbacca was in all of them, if I remember right.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually heard, and this is maybe this. I'm pretty sure this is true. Chewbacca, if you look close at Chewbacca, is in every movie ever made. Like how
just in the background.
Alfred Hitchcock used to cameo in his films. Like Chewbacca is actually in every film. You just have to know where to look for him.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dice pool is not working at all right now.
Yeah, I tried the weapon again, which was working before, and now it's not.
And
Thanks,
actually
Roll20.
I actually have dice. I brought my dice with me. Eric, you have not.
Well, let me try. I'm just going to try changing the.
I have a dice app.
Yeah, that's right. You have
available
the app.
here.
Yeah.
On my UPUD.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
I blame Crix.
Yes.
Yeah. He's messing with us. He didn't like that beard comment.
I know. No, I disturbed the force. This is my fault. When I asked to remove his beard.
The dark side.
Yeah, that beard was the only thing standing between the balance of the light and the dark, and now dark is just flooding through the hole where his beard used to be.
Yeah. If we hadn't said anything, we could save the universe.
Damn it. Why do I always do this?
I don't know.
How come Kai Rizdal has like an echo on his voice?
You have an echo on your voice. I don't have an echo.
Oh, I'm not hearing an echo actually from either of you.
Oh, weird.
No, you have an echo on your voice.
So you have an echo on your voice. Whoa!
Oh, you drove Wes away.
I had to. He got upset.
He's very sensitive.
Well, he's a Jedi, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
There, he's back.
No, he's back. Okay.
Yeah, tell me, I'm hearing an echo when you talk, but not with me, obviously. And now you're hearing an echo when I talk. So there's obviously some. If I close the Google Hangouts window, will that cripple the
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Because that's the audio. Your audio is coming from that.
Okay.
Just make sure your audio is, you're on video only for those two things under the cog, which I'm sure you have set, but that's the only other.
Okay. Oh, hang on. So I should broadcast
video only. And,
all right.
And receive video only.
Okay. And video only.
Let's try this. So, guys, would you kindly? I can't even clear the dice pool right now.
Hello.
I can manually change it.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we should log out, log in? What do you think?
Oh, there's one of the folks in chat has suggested that we can use an online dice roller as well. Oops, I just went to PvP instead.
Oh no, who are you fighting?
Let's see. Because it was working earlier, and the only thing I've done is I cleared. Why don't you guys each go in and click on the
reconnect?
What do you call it? Yeah, maybe you try that too. Oh, your Destiny pool. Hold on.
Eric, is that better?
Yeah, is it better for you?
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Guys, minor improvement also. Player video avatar location. If you put it on the top, everyone's eye lines will be better.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because you won't be staring at the bottom of your screens anymore.
Oh, nice.
Weird.
Staring up near where the camera is.
That is
good. Thank you, professional actor.
That's right.
That's Dr. Professional Actor.
Reverend Dr. Professional
Earned his degree.
Esquire.
All right.
DDS.
Yeah, Tommy, you just improved the quality of my stream.
That's what I am.
That's
what I do in the world.
That's right.
He's a quality stream.
That's right.
All right.
Sorry, so Kevin, you wanted to do something to try something, and
What I'm seeing right now is that it's not even linking up properly with the DM pool. I've tried clicking on Force Player Update and the dice pools for the lights. Oh, this one's working. No, but it's not rolling. All right. So why don't we do this rather than fucking around with this? Is there is a Let's see. There is an online dice roller. Hold on.
I'm gonna reload this whole page. Just see what happens.
All right.
All right.
it seems
We
this-
may see you and never forget again, but
Remember me as I was.
yeah.
I'm gonna remember him the way I really wanted him to. Be.
Well, that's fair.
Okay, so here's an online
Nice.
dice roller.
Okay, cool.
Beautiful.
Clicking
There we
that.
go. So it's not quite as good because it won't be displaying in the chat, but that's
Okay.
what we'll do. So you could please roll with two purples.
2 purples.
Oh, and
All right.
Royster, thanks for the suggestion.
Yes. Sorry, people watching. We don't know what we're doing here.
Well, it's clearly
We've messed up.
It really is DM error because you guys were
No.
getting it working just fine
We don't
before.
know, we don't know why we're
I
doing
guarantee you it was our fault. Let's see here.
Okay.
Two purples.
Two purples.
And then
Yeah.
and then Eric, obviously, you got to copy in whatever put in whatever your skill is.
Right.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
I have no rimming skills.
Well,
What?
understandable.
Okay.
All right, I got 2 successes and two successes, 1 advantage, 2 threats.
Oh.
Oh, sorry,
okay,
sorry. End result: 2 successes, 1 threat.
Okay. So you can feel actually, Kiro, at the mention of the planet Hydara, you feel kind of a shiver go down your spine. And you've been to Hydara before. That's the threat.
Okay.
So I'm going to get you to tell me what you've sort of just broad strokes, what brought you to Hydara before. But what you know about Hydara is that this was a mid-rim planet where basically it's a water world where the predominant species or predominant living beings are coral. And the entire planet is full of these massive colonies of coral in which other species have built cities. There's a series of cities that both live above and below the surface. Each of the cities as well, too, it attracts a lot of aquatic species. So things like Calamari, Quarren, the kind of tentacle face guys, the Chagrians, and the Nautilans, too. Like what's his name, the Jedi who grins all the time.
Yeah.
Kit Fisto?
Kit Fisto, yeah. So
Best Jedi ever.
you're familiar with them.
Yeah.
You also know that this the history of this, and this you can feel free to use this to fill in what your reasons for being there were. The planet itself is it's a source of a crop called Bactelara, and what Bactelara is a key ingredient in making Bacta.
Oh,
So during the Clone Wars, it changed sides multiple times, and the Bactelara crop remained intact because it has to be grown very, very deep in the ocean. But the surface suffered as a result of this. And at one point near the end of the Clone Wars, there arose kind of like a third-party rebellion that just wanted all of them out. They were sick of the place being used as a fight. That sort of petered out after the Empire won, and then they sort of left. But in recent months, a rebel cell went there and actually kind of kickstarted the rebellion again. All those old guys from 20 years ago took up arms again and began their struggle against the Empire and threw their lot in with the rebellion. During that time, or prior to that as well, they had been secretly funneling Bactelara materials out to help, pay for med kits and back to tanks and so forth, so that the Rebel Alliance could, deal with their wounded. However, things have gone from kind of tense to, on fire now, and Hydara is at the point where because of the crop, they can't do what they did on like Geonosis and just like sterilize the place, and they can't do what they did on Alderaan and just blow it up. But what they're going to do is basically annihilate the any kind of resistance that's there, and then just try and take over the crop themselves. Because of that, there is someone who has kind of seen the writing on the wall, and they need to get that person off planet. And that person's name, he's a Mon Calamari named Dr. Pakabar. He's kind of a specialist in droid kind of droid archaeology and in AI programming. And This guy, that's sort of his cover story, but he also sort of plays both sides of the fence. He's an information broker that both the Rebel Alliance and the Imperial Spy Service have deemed like valuable enough to let him keep doing his shit. He either has secured enough, secrets on both sides to prevent either of them from acting against him. He is notoriously difficult to deal with because he's always primarily looking at what's best for him, but the quality of his information is enough to justify his continued existence.
Okay.
He actually helped the last group deal with whatever they were there for.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's finally seeing how things have gone on Hydara. He has thrown his lot in with the Rebel Alliance and wants to get the fuck out of there, which probably means he's worn out his welcome with the Imperium.
Knowing him, yeah.
So that's why you guys are here.
Okay.
Maydeen has tasked you guys with getting there, making contact with Maskin Balan, and finding out where Pakabar is and getting him off. The expectation is, as well, is that you'll be bringing him off with the wealth of intel that he has on the Imperial services.
Cool. Great.
So, because
I'm
as you can imagine, with all the Bactelara being shipped off of Hydara, it's basically a way of tracking where all the med supplies for the Imperial Army and for the Imperial Navy is going.
Cool. And I'm going to say, just to make things worse, that the reason I was there previously is that before I joined the Rebel Alliance, when I was a smuggler, I was involved in a deal as like a sort of young smuggler with some people above me that screwed Dr. Pakabar over.
Love it.
So he's not going to be happy when he sees me.
Is he going to recognize you, or
I don't know. I will see. Hopefully not.
Okay.
It's been a few years.
Look, I'm not happy just looking at his scrotum neck, to be honest. So he's got no reason
just
to
don't
be
look
happy.
at it.
All right, that's fine.
Okay.
I won't. But quick question: would it be useful to do? I have an underworld intelligence skill. Do an underworld intelligence roll on this planet?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me do that. All right.
Sure.
So I subtract one of those. I add one of those, and everybody rolls dice. Everyone's happy. I got 2. Cancel it. I got 2 advantages and 2 failures.
2 advantages. So you failed and got advantage. Okay, so you don't know anything about Dr. Pakabar's deal, or whatever he's got going on that the Rebel Alliance isn't aware of. But there is going to be some way at some point where you'll have heard a story about him, and we'll use that to your advantage. So you'll be kind of like that's what they were talking about when they talked about the Kessel scam or whatever the hell it is.
All right. Oh yeah, that's so Pakabar. Yeah. All
exactly.
Right. It'll come up.
That's the Pakabar I was talking about. Hold on, you're that one?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard about you. Yeah.
So in this flashback, this is kind of the opportunity to ask any further questions you might have of Maydeen about the task, or we can flash back to it over the course of the session to, if there's other stuff you want to know about.
I want to ask him, what's our cover?
Cover is as that you're delivering rebreathers. Now we have rebreathers are a common product that's used here because of non-aquatic species that want to be able to visit Surtown. The city you're going to is divided into both Subtown and Surtown. Surtown is above the surface, Subtown is below, and that's where a lot of the aquatic species live. However, as one of the measures that the Empire has taken to try and clamp down control is they've restricted access to rebreathers. We've provided you with a cover. It's an older code, but it should get you approval for delivering these controlled substances.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll be no problem.
No, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
So I rolled.
He studies droids.
I heard you, Wes. We'll get to you after.
Okay.
Wes, I'm next. I have video feed. I get to speak. You said that he studied droids or history of droids?
Yes.
Okay. So he may know something of my past and or the number of times I've double-crossed either the rebellion or the...
He may have heard about you, yeah, because he's also a collector and dealer in rare droids as well.
Uh-oh.
Fantastic.
He may see you as a precious, precious object.
I hope he's not handsy. Is he handsy? Can I roll for handsy?
Look,
Find out.
there's
Yeah.
a reason.
Wes, what was your question?
Wes, go ahead.
I rolled a 4 threat. Is that bad?
Fourth threat is not bad.
Kevin,
Okay.
I have to just tell you before you get into this that this is exactly what happens in every game we ever play with Wes. So,
Okay, so Dre, I'm going to suggest that this is actually your first time out since you were unfrozen. You've been acclimatizing to the geopolitical situation in the galaxy at this point, and this is your sort of like, your first opportunity to throw in with the rebellion.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we cut back to the scene on the deck, and what happens is that Imperial deck officer played by DJ Qualls is coming over. Dre is like, kind of puts his hand back, and then you accidentally knock your lightsaber. It hits the ground and kind of rolls out on the floor between where you and the approaching officer is.
oh no.
Oh,
And you guys all kind of look at each other and see this happening. Let's pick up the scene there. So,
All right.
Perfect.
what do you guys want to do?
I have a plan.
All right. I do
This
too.
may require some kind of initiative. I don't know how you want to handle it, Kev, but I'll tell you what I want to do. You can tell me what makes the most sense.
Okay.
I happen to have with me, as part of my gear, some synthetic neuroparalytic,
Okay,
which I like to try to inject him with if I can.
sure.
Uh,
Is it something that is injected by like a handshake, or is it a dart gun kind of thing?
I think it's something that I have to. It's a small. I honestly don't know the answer. And I'm looking it up.
Oh, you can. To be honest, you can make it whatever you want.
Right. I
Not
think
really.
it's just. It's like a little. It's like the size of a comlink, like those
Okay.
cylindrical comlinks, and I have to just tap him with it, and it doesn't really do damage, but it breaks the skin and.
Okay.
And here's what I would like to do in conjunction with that. I have a deception skill of 2 and a fairly decent cunning skill. He said, "What are you doing here?" Is that what he said? What are you doing here? I'm
Yep.
going to step up to him and immediately confront him. Like, what are you doing here? We have authorization. I don't know what you
Classic.
think you are. And hopefully to distract from this lightsaber that has fallen on the ground, and also that George Kiro is going to be stepping up with this neurotoxin to get him. And I figure any chance to mess with an Empire official would make me very happy.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's Kai, why don't you give me a deception check, and then the difficulty will be let's see here. I don't think they're not putting their A game guy on this deck.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be one. Actually, I'll say 2 purples.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's do this. And I got 2 advantages is my ultimate roll.
Okay. So he's however however much of a little puke this guy might be, he is very confident of what his realm of authority is. So you step forward, glowering down at him, your little beady eyes looking at him. What are you doing here? And he says, holds up the clipboard and says, I believe I'm the one who's asking the questions. However, because of the 2 advantages, what you can do in this game is you can spend 2 advantage to feed a blue dice to the next person who makes a dice roll.
Okay. I will do exactly that to George, because this
Sure.
was basically just running interference on everything.
Yeah. So, George, you're going to get an extra blue in your dice roll. Why don't you make a skullduggery check for me? And the difficulty will be 2 purples as well.
Okay, let me just check my. Oh,
I think it's called skullduggery.
No, that is. I have no. So that's just going to be my cunning, which is 2. So it's not going to be great, but we'll see what happens.
We had an adage. We ran this game for about close to 2 years, and our adage with the game was always, Leia can drive a speeder bike. Right? We had no evidence. She's demonstrated at no point that she has any competency with driving it, and then drives it like a fucking pro right away. So
Right.
I'll remind you as well, you've got your force points you can spend to augment your dice pool if you really want to make sure you succeed.
Okay.
Or you can save it to re-roll or whatever you like.
Okay. So and it's 2 purple. What did
2
you say
purple,
again?
yes, please.
Okay, great. Here we go. And 1 blue from Eric.
Yep.
1 success, 2 threats.
Awesome. Okay. So what happens is, well, why don't you describe it for me? You're gonna be able to inject this into this guy.
Cool. So I quickly look around and make sure no one's really paying too much attention, and then I go to pretend I'm shaking his hand, and I grab his hand with one hand and I hit him with the neurotoxin in the wrist with the other.
Okay.
And inject the stuff in and see if it affects him. So it is. I actually did check the rules here. It is a dart applicator, so that actually is exactly right. So here's how it works. Any dose size has a hard difficulty. The poison immobilizes the target for 3 rounds if the target fails the check.
Okay. So I'll make a quick.
And there's some additional stuff depending on what he might roll with threats and stuff.
I tanked that. Okay. So you reach your hand out and you get him in the arm and he says, "Ow!"
It's okay. Sorry, I have a Wookiee here.
That's fine. My Wookiee was checking in earlier.
Evidently in every stream.
That's right.
So as he his eyes get kind of flutter and they get a little heavy, and he's gonna hit the ground, like he's yelled out quite loud, and he's about to hit the ground like a ton of bricks.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to grab him before he does.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Why don't you give me what is it here? Athletics? No, acrobatics. What is it?
Negotiation. No.
Dance?
That's it.
It's nice to see that some jokes are universal.
That's right.
My player who puts all his points in history is like, it's history, right? It's history.
No, it's not.
Okay, coordination, please.
Coordination, cool.
And we'll give it 2. Two purples. You didn't have anything in your hands, did you?
Nope.
Okay, then you're good to go. Yeah, 2 purples.
Not.
Is there is there an input panel anywhere near us, or are we in the middle of nowhere?
No, it's a busy kind of landing hangar with people who are trying to board their craft to get out. And
is there any kind of thing like any what I'm trying to like log into the system to see if any security alerts have gone off?
Oh, sure, yeah. There's probably a security station at the sort of one point, and there's probably a couple because of the Imperial presence right now. There's a couple guys who are basically clones of the deck officer who's or standing there and kind of monitoring their feeds.
Okay. I got 2 successes, 1 threat.
2 successes, 1 threat. Okay. So you catch the guy and you sort of well, what do you do? Are you holding him up?
I want to try to hold him up, and I also want to try to sort of spin him around and sort of like look like I'm walking him up the up the ramp to our ship, which is probably going to look borderline like I'm dragging him up the lamp to the ship. But,
so I've got a theory that the saying that all roads lead to Rome, that all games lead to Weekend at Bernie's.
That's accurate.
We could just screw this mission and just drive around this planet with this guy just partying on his
backup.
Yeah. I don't care about this scrotum necked calamari, to be honest with you, but okay.
Dre, so Asig, are you gonna try and act like gain access to that panel, or
I just want to see if any alerts have gone up.
Okay, so Dre, do you want to? What are you doing at this point?
I'm going to as Kai catches the officer, I'm going to sort of calmly walk over and pick up my lightsaber.
Sure. So why don't you give me a deception roll? Is it deception?
Deception. Yep. Cunning is deception.
Yeah. Well, either skullduggery or cunning, or or deception, whichever one you got better.
Hey, you're a Jedi. You shouldn't need to bend down to get it. Can't you just stick your hand out and it just jumps to your hand?
I don't.
That sounds like an excellent idea.
I'm not that kind of Jedi.
He just woke up. It's like an AM Jedi. This is a Jedi.
He's not that kind of Jedi. I guess he's like like the math Jedi. I guess.
Now he can see the future, but apparently didn't predict this.
Yeah. Well, that's the irony.
Yeah.
He's an ironic Jedi.
So, was it 2 purple? Or would it be purple dice?
Yes. So you're going to need
For me, it's 2 either
So
way.
there's a couple threats. So why don't you put 2 purple and 2 blacks in there, please?
Ooh.
Use the irony, Wes.
Okay, so end result is 2 threats.
2 threats. Okay.
All right.
You got a rolling threat party here. So you get over there and you're about to try and pick it up, and you hear a more commanding, authoritative imperial
no one
accent.
likes that. Nobody
Nope.
likes
Say,
that.
what are you doing there? And you look up and you see that there is this more kind of taller. He is more composed, and he is surrounded by 2 kind of underlings with their own pads. And he looks down and says, "What are you doing there?" And
I immediately jump and say, "This officer fainted."
okay. So as this guy, he has the sort of in your face confidence that only comes from people who have that like tin pot dictator kind of thing. He starts walking towards you with yes, that is absolutely it. So he's got that. He does have a full red beard though. He's got a hat on as well. He begins making his way towards and says, "Now, what is this?" And one of the little underlings says, "Captain Aristes, I don't know what's going on. It was Cadet Chodum who was supposed to be." He says, "I've heard enough of that. What are you doing?" And he says to you, Dre. Now, in the movie version of our campaign, Captain Aristes is played by what's the name? It's that guy who plays the Sylvester in Westworld.
I think I know who that might be.
Oh yeah, so there he is.
Oh, it's that guy. Oh, he's great. I love that guy.
Oh man,
The Captain Aristes.
I don't know about this.
I was worried about the red beard, but then I'm like, I like the cut of this guy's jib.
The benefit
Really?
this
This is who we have? This guy? He's going to give us nothing.
What's going on here?
I don't even.
yeah, exactly. What is going on here?
Let's get a beard off with Cricks and see who wins.
Not, so
think we
just so I,
Just so lunch with this guy. He seems.
And just so we understand the situation, the lightsaber is still on the ground.
Dre has gone over and he's about to grab it.
Okay.
He hasn't successfully. He's unfortunately attracted more attention. But the upside is the 2 kind of underlings that were monitoring the station. They have are sort of making their way over as well.
Okay.
So ASIG, it looks like you've got an opportunity to try and get in there and get at that the what do you call it, the pad or whatever.
Right.
Kai and Kiro, you're sort of moving this deck officer up. They haven't noticed that you guys are, carrying an unconscious Imperial officer, but Dre is sort of looking up, and there's this looming, Imperial officer with 2 underlings and 2 other underlings kind of making their way over.
This is really going to hell, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think there's only one thing. We should need to blow up the ship. Let's just blow up the ship.
No, too early. It's too early.
Okay. We'll give it 10 more minutes and then we'll blow up the ship.
So did I make it to the interface thing?
Yeah, you can give me so I think it'll be 1 red and 1 purple to try and access the I think it's computers you're going to use.
Okay, 1 red and 1 purple.
Yes.
And then roll dice. Okay. I got is that for real?
Did you put your skills in? Did you put your dice in?
Yellows?
What is my dice?
Whatever your skills are, your greens and yellows.
Oh no, what is that? What is my dice?
So tell me, wait, what I'll tell you. What skill you're using right now?
Computers.
Computers. Okay, so your computers are pretty good actually. Your computers are 3 yellows.
3 yellows?
Yes.
So put that in addition?
Correct.
Yes, please.
And then roll.
Should I re-roll? Because I just got 2 threats from these.
Yeah, no, go ahead and re-roll.
Yeah, you're kind of gonna.
The end result: 2 successes, 1 threat. Oh, but I got 1 to spare, so that's fantastic.
Terrific.
God.
Okay, now, unfortunately, you can't use your force points to re-roll.
Right.
You didn't get the success, though.
I did use my force points to re-roll the double threat.
That's right. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
But
So
3
we'll cut back to what's happening with you in a sec here.
That's pretty good.
So Kiro and Kai you're sort of, you're close distance away, which means it would take you every action. You guys can take one action and one maneuver, and then you can spend 2 strain, take an extra maneuver. You're basically one maneuver away from where Dre is. Dre, you're sort of crouched down, ready to pick up your lightsaber.
Sure.
What do you do to start with?
What do I do?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Blow
going
up the
to
ship.
I'm going to continue to pick up my lightsaber and essentially ignore this guy that's talking to me. Like I
Okay.
don't hear him or like I don't know he's there.
Just pretending that you don't see him?
Well, I pretend that I don't really hear him.
Do
Okay.
they even know what a lightsaber is? I mean, the Jedi have been gone for so long. They may
No,
not
I
even
think they would. I mean, Vader's got a lightsaber.
Yeah, maybe Dre's looks like a thermos. You know, I don't know. It's his coffee for the morning.
So he says, "You, you're able to grab your lightsaber, Dre, and get it into concealed to wherever you had it concealed before.
All right.
Stand up when I'm talking to you. Kai and Kiro, do you want to do anything while this is?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
do we need to get the guy inside the ship, the unconscious guy,
I
before?
think so.
Yeah. So we're gonna quickly just keep dragging this guy as much, and I have this can make a deception roll or whatever. Get him inside the ship without calling any more attention to ourselves.
So Dre, you spare a quick look back to your colleagues, and you see them kind of scamper up the platform to get back into the ship. You're on your own for the time being. Asig, using this opportunity to with the distraction of them going away, you race over. A little probe extends, and you get into the computer. You're kind of it's twisting around, and you're like, oh, okay, thank God, there's no alarm off. Now to log off. And at that, the Imperial officer turns around and looks over, and he sees you, I guess, standing at the thing, and then we'll go back to
This feels
Dre, I
weirdly
guess.
like me looking at myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
weird experience.
Wow. You should know everyone. You should know how to talk to this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
How to flatter him. What are his
One of
weaknesses?
the neat things with the Fantasy Flight Star Wars games is you're not stuck with the initiative order that you where you roll and you're stuck with that. You guys can choose which order. There is an initiative mechanic that will set when NPCs or PCs go.
Mhm.
But for now, I'm just going to say all of you guys will go. Then Captain Aristes and his flunkies will go. So which of you guys wants to act first?
We're kind of in 3 different spots, so we just so we're clear, we've got this underling sort of guy into the ship already.
So for those listening at home, it's been precisely about an hour and a half before we split the party.
Exactly.
We haven't even gotten out of the spaceport, and already
We took 3 steps out of the ship.
Everything went to hell.
Well,
I want to blow up. I hope we can not leave the spaceport and blow up the ship.
Well,
and just sink the mission there. And I hope it takes the next 2.5 hours to do it. This is my goal. So we know.
I do have a crazy plan.
All right, blow up the ship.
I happen to be carrying a thermal detonator.
I'm sorry. Are there any good sentences that?
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Eric, why don't we go last? Let's
go last.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys
We're
go
stashing
first.
the body just inside the door, and then we'll be ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Asig or Dre, you guys can go.
Yeah, I have the force power of 4C, which I can use to grant everyone on my side a free maneuver
Nice.
Okay.
before the first round of combat begins.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Okay. So
that's
what we'll say narratively then is that if you guys want to reposition yourself for the start of this scene, like what could have happened is, Kiro and Kai could have got to the top and says, "Hey, do you know where Asig is?" And you both look at each other and like, and they drop, the deck officer, bam, to the ground. And you guys could run back out.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So we are back out because of Dre's forces.
Yeah, that's great.
Uses. That's
Okay.
cool.
And then
Awesome.
AC, you've got a maneuver as well. So a maneuver can be used to like move or interact with an
How far away
object.
am I from the ship?
You're sorry?
How far away am I from the ship?
You're probably 2 maneuvers away from the ship.
Okay. Can I use one maneuver just to be like, my bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So are they between me and the ship? The guys?
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing that you're sort of near the edge of the hangar, like sort of a central location where the security guys can kind of survey everything. And then the Captain Aristes and his sidekicks are dealing with Dre, and then from where Dre is to the ship, there's another maneuver. But Kiro and Kai have kind of come scampering down.
Or associated to the ship at all?
Sorry?
Do those guys, the Aristes, all those guys know that I am associated to the ship that just landed?
There would be no reason for them to think that. No.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay. Plugged into the thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna plug back into that thing and see.
You could probably wreak all kinds of mayhem that way. That would distract
I'm gonna plug back into it and try to make an alarm like set off other places so that it seems like some kind of like.
Love it. Okay. So go ahead and give me another computers check. Same difficulty. 1 red, 1 purple.
1 red, 1 purple, 3 yellow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I got 2 successes, 2 advantages, 1 failure, and 1 threat.
Okay, so the threat and the advantage will cancel out the threat. The failure will cancel the success. I think you still got 1 net success, don't you?
It should say end result there.
Yeah.
Did it say end result on your screen after the dice? Like the end result?
Oh, yeah. Nope. And 1 success. Oh, success. I see. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, so you plug in and now everywhere on Coral City 1 has sirens going off.
Fixed it.
Nice.
Okay, so ASIG's gone. Dre, do you want to go next?
Yeah.
Well, actually, hold on. Because of Dre's ability, you guys are now sort of repositioned. So all 4 of you get to act before Captain Aristes.
Okay. Now, are we in combat? Because I feel like that we should do next, since there's alarms going off everywhere, is probably closer to social engineering than it is to actually shooting.
I agree. I almost feel like running.
Running where? Just
into the crowd. I don't know, or how many people? What's around us, Kevin?
It's a busy, like picture like any scene from like a catching the last plane out of wherever the fuck evacuation of Saigon kind of thing. Like people running all over, carrying all their belongings, trying to get out. That's kind of the chaos that's going on in this place right now. There's boxes and crates that are lying around. There's luggage that's been forgotten behind because it couldn't fit on the Starcraft.
Cool. I mean, what do you think? Kai, I think we should make a run for it and go grab Dre.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to just say to the guys, they're like, "What the hell is going on here? Run!"
Okay. But, that's good. That's good.
So as we do, so before we all run into I go to whoever seems to be like in the front line of this, as far as Imperials go, and say exactly that. What the hell is going on here? Run! Like, clearly, the bombs are coming, or the hurricane is whatever, So.
Okay, so give me a. It sounds like you're trying to deceive him.
Yeah.
So give me a deception roll, and we'll set the difficulty as 1 red and 2 purples.
1 red and 2 purples. Hang on, let me roll up my.
Eric, you got 3 force points or destiny points.
Yep.
Thank you.
4 because I got to use trivia.
Oh, right. Okay, so I got 2 yellows and a green, and you said 2 reds and a the purple.
1 red, 2 purples.
1 red, 2
2 purples, and I get End result: 3 successes, 1 threat. And can I use a force point to get rid of that threat?
You absolutely can. Yeah.
I will do that.
Cool.
Okay, so what does it look like as Captain Aristes realizes that alarms are going off everywhere?
What does it look like? He if he could pee his pants, he would. But he realizes not only is there a potential threat to him, but something really bad is happening on his watch, and his superior is not going to be happy with that. So I think he's going to probably order all of his get on this, while chaos is breaking out around him.
And he's racing out to get back to his secure office or whatever.
Yeah, where he'll handle the threat from the safety of his bunker. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And as he runs by, Asig, you continue giving the thumbs up
Like,
as he passes.
Fixed it, guys.
Nice work.
Nice work, Kai.
I fixed
So-
it.
The chaos.
I show you my thermal detonator. I'll save it for later.
There's part of Kai that actually wishes we could have used
Well,
that. If I'd known
It's coming.
Kai would
Don't worry.
time.
So-
I mean, don't make promises you're not going to keep.
I
If-
won't.
if-
Don't worry.
okay.
We're good.
As you guys are sort of, Dre, you stand up and you sort of, make sure that the lightsaber doesn't fall a second time. This blue-skinned Chagrian comes over to you and says, "What are you doing?"
Is there a problem?
You can recognize that this
Yeah, I can
is
say.
Masking Balan. And he sort of like flustered, kind of catches himself, and then he says the code word that, like the passphrase that he's supposed to say to you guys, and you guys do the response, and you realize this is your rebel contact.
Let's make it look like it's all good. Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
how's it going?
He says
all
things
good
aren't
here.
enough here with you causing. Was this you that caused this?
No.
I
Not me.
No.
don't know what happened.
Personally.
I don't know.
I think we're just lucky to cover our entrance like this. I mean, this is very fortunate for all of us.
Right, it was part of the plan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, things have since I last spoke to the Alliance, and he's sort of looking around and speaking in hushed tones. There's been a development. Pakabar has disappeared beneath to somewhere in Surtown. I hear that he can be located at a cantina down there.
Okay. Well,
All right.
not our problem. We
No,
just,
well,
Oh.
it is our problem. We got to get.
fine. No, it's our problem. We'll deal with it.
Okay. Can he tell us exactly where this place is? Cantina.
Yes, he can. He gave you
Okay.
it's a place called the Abyssal Karoo, and it's located down in Surtown. So the way you travel around in kind of Coral City is there's like modified repulsor lift vehicles that sort of can be used above surface and below surface.
Yeah.
There are suits and whatnot that you will recover. Oh, fucking Bush League DM. So we flash back. I forgot to tell you what you do with him.
Flashback to that thing that I was supposed to tell you.
Yeah,
before.
well, it's what you're doing afterwards. So what Maydeen has told you is
Yeah.
you're retrieving him, and then you're supposed to bring him to basically a connection point where he's going to be picked up by other rebel agents and brought elsewhere.
Okay.
That place is a planet called Albard. Albard is a kind of a galactic unique location where think of if Venus with the heavy atmosphere and the incredible pressure had a liquid helium surface. That's what this planet is. And on that planet, there is an old Clone Wars era manufacturing facility. It used to be used to manufacture droids in secret because you can't scan for heat from the surface because of the ambient cold of the helium oceans, and you can't locate it because of the amount of atmospheric disturbances either. So it's an ideal location for getting there, exchanging the him, and then getting the hell out of there. So sorry, that's
Cool. No, good to know.
that's step
and-
2. Yeah,
And this cantina that he's in, is this underwater or is this?
this is underwater. Yes.
It is. Okay.
So
Yeah.
we gotta put
So-
some suits on.
It reminded me because I'm like, there's 2 things you need. You need underwater suits, which I'm assuming you guys brought with you, and you need pressure
Oh,
suits.
absolutely. We brought those. Yeah. Why wouldn't we?
So-
Just don't play it underwater.
It's just yeah.
Watery. It's like their happy birthday, basically.
Yeah.
Now here's my question, dude.
Yeah.
Do droids not need an underwater suit, or do they need an even thicker underwater suit so no water gets in and shorts?
Sorry,
them out?
guys. I don't do water.
I'm electrical, guys.
No,
I'll
thank you.
stay up at the top of the manhole and wait for you guys to come back. Make sure no
I
one
think
follows
that,
you.
like many other things in Star Wars, real world physics don't necessarily apply because we've got
Yeah.
plenty of scenes where Jedis are using their lightsabers underwater and not just being, burned from
Right.
scalding water, right?
True.
So
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, so you're totally no problem. You were
By the way, quick side note to get this out of the way: the only headphones I could find, it's cropped off here, but they do have cat ears on them. So if I ever just dip down below the level there, and you see, I can turn the lights off. I can make them flash. I think I'm just going to leave them on for the time being, just so you know.
Seems appropriate.
Why now? Like, why did you choose this?
This is the moment.
I should have done it way earlier, and it was
Okay,
just one of those
alright.
things.
Okay.
If I don't do it now, it's just going to keep hanging.
It's going to be
over my
well. It's going to
head.
get weird if you wait long.
It's gonna get. It's weird already. It's just gonna get weirder.
What are they going to say?
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan is we got to go down to this place, and is Meskin going to come with us, or he's just giving us the information?
No, Masking is he's a high up official in the Stevedores Union, so that's his sort of cover for tracking what's going in and out of here. He will, he gives you the directions of how to get there, how to avoid sort of the Imperial checkpoints they've got set up, and yeah. That's
we can handle that, no problem. Imperial checkpoints.
We're great with that.
So what we'll do is I'll let you guys we'll just cut maybe to you guys arriving at this place, and you can think of what your characters are wearing in terms of suits. And you reach this point, and it's the Sur Town is basically just carved out massive kind of corridors that in the sides of which are set all the different buildings and like residences and whatnot. As you're making your way down there, we can see you passing a bunch of Mon Calamari and Quarren and other of these aquatic species, and you get to there and you can see the flashing lights that mark every cantina.
Of course.
As you guys drift in, you once again hear the
Underwater.
ubiquitous cantina song, but basically if you
Son of a bitch.
if the cantina song was sung by like slowed down whale sounds, that's kind of what the ambient.
I was close.
You were close.
So as you drift in, you can see there are a bunch of people who are enjoying their drinks and whatnot, and you're kind of surveying the crowd. What do you guys want to do?
And is this like a shady part of town, or what kind of establishment?
This place has the kind of like dark lighting that suggests either illicit meetings or just people who day drink on their own. So
Maybe people that just had their pupils dilated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, could be that.
I want to know if you pour a drink underwater, does it just drift above the glass, or
so
do
what
they
they
have
use here is actually a form of bladder. It's a
I'm
bladder
sorry?
base you can get in and
Yes, of course.
drink from.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so I just wanted my plan. I don't know what anybody else wants to do. I just want to scan to see if there are any signs of Imperials or people that we won't want to mess with. Like,
Sure.
Give
me a perception check, please. I think it's called perception.
Yes, it is.
Yes, thank God. It's all coming back to me.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. That's and at what difficulty?
Difficulty will be 1 red and 1 purple.
Okay.
And the reason it's 1 red, 1 purple is because it's a contested roll, because someone is trying to hide in here.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I got an advantage and a failure.
Advantage and a
I
failure.
definitely did not see anything.
So you're looking around and
failed with advantage.
Yeah.
What thing do you say to prompt a blue dice for somebody else?
I lean over and I say, I guess we have connected by comm links or something.
Yeah. It's got local
Great.
network.
So I'd say, hey guys, I get the feeling that there's someone in here that we can't see, but I'm not seeing it myself. You guys see anything?
Yeah. Well, fortunately, my character has cybernetic eyes, which is true. I put on and also cost me a lot of money. So I'm going to do a perception check.
Why did it not pay for the waterproofing?
Right.
I know. Ah! Unfortunately, they've electrocuted. They've shorted out, and I'm dead. So you can take my stuff.
Cool.
Self-suit doesn't matter.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So it says in the book it gets +1, but I don't really know what that means in terms of these magical colored dice. Is that a blue die?
What it does is it means that you upgrade a dice, I think. So unless
I think that's right.
+1 blue, then what it means is a green becomes a yellow.
Okay.
which has better chances and better outcomes, or you add another green if you're already at all yellows.
Okay, I will then. That makes me 2 greens and a yellow. And what was the difficulty again?
Difficulty is 1 red and 1 1 red, 1 purple.
1 purple. Roll these mofos. 2 advantages.
2 advantages.
Yeah.
So, what's the strategy
Oh,
that
I
you've
didn't
been
get to
using?
add George's. I get to add George's roll. So
Yes,
I don't
you
know
do.
how I do
One
that.
blue.
Should I re-roll the whole thing or?
Just roll 1
Sure.
blue.
Okay, let me just roll 1 blue. Sorry, I gotta.
Well, actually, to be honest, you could spend a force point to re-roll the whole
Oh.
thing and then roll a blue twice and take the better of the 2.
I think it's worth doing.
Okay. So now I gotta enter my dice in again.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's mine. All right, and whoa. Okay, so I guess I got 1 success, 1 advantage.
Nice. Okay.
Great.
So what you can see is sitting at one of the sort of distant corners in this circular, booth that's been carved into the coral. There's this stocky figure with, a hood pulled over his head.
Okay.
That's sitting with one of the drinking bladders in his hands, and you can see that the hood is slowly moving back and forth as if he's sort of like studying the crowd in a really nervous manner.
Okay.
This
Is
might
he-
be. Yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Big head like the
Like a
what's
Moncal?
those-
It could definitely be a Moncal under there, but there's Chagrians have pretty big heads as well. But you're not seeing the, what are they called? The Leku.
Those- Yeah, the tail things. Yeah.
And just to be clear, is Dr.
Packabar.
Is Dr. Packabar expecting us? He
is,
knows
yeah.
we're coming. Okay.
Yeah, he's asked for extraction, so there'll be some kind of like passphrase you'll give him as well.
Okay.
And do we notice if there are any other exits from this place?
Good question. With an advantage, yeah, I think there's probably an exit out the back. There's sort of like, on not a stage, but there's a pole around which this, lithe Nautilin woman is sort of swimming around.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Cool.
quite as impressive in the water, is it?
No.
Does somebody want to go stand by the back? I can do it too. Whatever. Stand by the back. You want to do the ASIG? Okay. And then at least 1 or 2 of us should go approach him, and the last person should keep an eye on the front door.
Who's got a good perception?
I've got good perception.
Okay, cool.
Gray, how about you? Do you have social skills, or do you have perception skills, or what do you want to come with? You want to watch a door, or you want to talk to the guy?
I'm gonna watch the door.
Okay, I think we lost Wes.
Nope.
No, he's in.
Okay.
I don't have the best social skills, but I can go with the person to talk to this hooded creature.
All right.
My social skills aren't terrible.
I
Eric,
have high cunning, and I've got some skullduggery and deception, but that's about it. So
Okay. Well,
If you guys
maybe.
need alarms to be set off for no reason, I'm pretty good at that.
yeah, I can
That's
watch.
true.
Tell you what, I'll watch the front door. I've got
Okay.
I've got the magic eyes, and
That's true. Okay.
and Asig, you watch the back door, and you 2 guys go and try to make contact.
Okay. That's the plan.
All right,
All right.
So you
great,
drift over
done.
towards the booth, and the figure sort of, he is nervously sort of moving the drinking bladder around in its hands and sort of looking up, and you can see that there is definitely a Mon Calamari face underneath there.
Does
Cool.
he have a scrotum for a neck?
No. You're
There
not
is
there.
definitely,
Okay.
yeah, it's one of those kind of like magic eye paintings.
Oh no, that's so bad. That's
No, thank you.
all right, so Dre, you're backing me up. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Dre and Kiro will head up to him and very calmly, like I don't have my hand on my weapon or anything, which I normally would. And
We're here to save
yeah,
you.
exactly. The code word is no. So approach Castley, and how can we speak to him through the water? Basically,
There's a way to sort of like activate the comm to just like send out a pulse kind of thing.
cool. So we'll basically approach and try to look friendly and somehow communicate the password.
Sure.
If we
What do you
can.
think the password is?
The Gundar crows at midnight.
Okay. He looks up at you and kind of leans forward and he pulls back the hood a little bit. And this is again what you see.
Sorry.
Now, in the film version of this, of our campaign, the role of Dr. Packabar is played by Paul Giamatti. And his version, basically, Dr.
Looks just
Packabar
like him.
is his character from Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
Oh, nice.
So he's sort of like, well, it took you long enough to get here.
You have any idea how many penises I have hanging from my mouth?
You're in the
activity of each one of these is spectacular.
What took you so long to get here?
we ran into a little bit of trouble, but we're here now and we want to get you out of here before it's too late.
Yeah, well, we're past too late now, but I hope you've got a good plan.
Oh, we have the best plan. We've got 3 other operatives here, or 2 other operatives. We got to leave now, though.
Well, we've got to get something. It's still back in the shop. I couldn't get out of it. The Imperials are wise to what's going on.
Are they looking for you?
Yes? Why do you think I'd be down in a place like this?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but okay. Well, how far is your shop?
The pole dance.
Hold on. And his eyes kind of like narrow down. Those big, bulbous eyes kind of narrow down. Kiro Star Skimmer.
How you doing?
You should have let him watch the door.
You. They sent you?
Look, you know what? I apologize for things in the past. I learned my lesson. It was a mistake. I'm happy to talk about it more later.
A mistake? I'm still out 2 million credits from that mistake.
We're gonna pay you back, but we gotta keep you alive so that I can make it up to you.
I hope you brought better crew this time.
Yeah. I mean, I was just a kid. I was just a kid. I know what I'm doing now.
Wow. Did you bring a pilot this time?
Well, unfortunately, it's me. But I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot since last week.
He does the what do you call it? The Mon Calamari equivalent of the forehead slap.
Yeah.
So he hits his nose.
I feel like they would have a pretty deadly eye roll as well.
Weapons grade eye roll.
Yeah.
So he looks at you and which one is this? And he narrows his eyes. You're not Dash. And he narrows his eyes. No, I don't know you. Who are you?
This is Dre. Dre? Introduce
Dash,
yourself.
Dre.
Dre,
Oh.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Doctor. I want to use my force power of Force C to gain vague hints of events to come.
Okay. So you sort of describe for me, what does it look like when you're when you use your force power? Is it something where it's like a flash of insight, or is it something you've like kind of do that moment of you close your eyes and we hear Luke's theme kind of play in the background?
I think it's for him. It's more of a more like a flash of insight that just kind of when he sees somebody, especially of import in a mission or on whatever duty he's going to, that he gets a sense of the immediate what immediately could happen within the near future.
So there's a brief vision that you have of basically underwater stormtroopers. So like water troopers, aqua troopers, I don't know what they're called, but
Sure.
the of them approaching this location.
Okay. So then I say, Doctor, we have to leave now. There are several aqua troopers approaching this
Who
cantina.
brought them here? Kiro.
It wasn't me this time. I swear. But we better get out of here.
Well, is it just the 2 of you?
No, we got 2 more. One in the back, one in the front, watching the entrance and exit.
Well, come on. We got to get out the back. I can get us to my shop, but you're probably watching it. I hope you've got a plan.
We'll figure something out on the way.
You said that last time.
This time I mean it.
He gets up, and Kai, you're at the front door, right?
I'm at the front door. Kai's at
You're
the
at the
back.
front door. You sort of look out, and you can see, there's that sort of a bunch of the white, brilliant armor of stormtroopers, sort of, floating their way down the corridor. People are sort of moving to the side, so it's a clear, vantage point that you can see these guys approaching about maybe 2 blocks down.
2 blocks down. Okay. Are they clearly? Does it look like they're beelining towards this place, or does it look like they're like checking things along the
Hard
way?
to say. They're not stopping and like inspecting anybody. They seem to be, moving with purpose.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna once Dre has alerted me to the fact that there are some stormtroopers on the way. I will over the comm let everybody know to expect them.
I tell everyone, oh yeah, they're about 2 blocks away and they're closing in.
And Dr. Pakbar says he's got a way to his shop out the back, so we should head out that way.
All right. Why are we going to his shop again?
That's where he left what we need, so we got to get there.
Okay.
It's gonna be a problem. We'll have to figure it out.
Okay. I'm gonna ready a frag grenade, and my question is this: how far away are they? Like, if I just sort of dropped this grenade, number one, would accidentally blow passersby up, or
possibly.
okay, well, maybe I won't do that. I'm a bounty hunter, but I got morals. Anyway, point is, I'm gonna have one ready just in case.
Okay.
Right. Okay. But I'm gonna head in and try to join everyone else going out the back.
Okay.
Right. And then we'll all go backward to the back to where ASIG is.
How's the back looking?
So you guys make your way to the back, and there is sort of like a, the corridor equivalent of a back alley here as well, kind of like a service corridor.
I have been hitting on someone?
Yeah.
That's a slot machine.
Yeah. Everyone, you guys all sort of make your way out back, and then he looks over and says, "A commando droid. Oh, look at you."
He's with us. You can talk to him all you want on our way.
Yeah, let's do that. And you guys turn and start, making your way down the corridor. It's been 2 hours right now. Why don't we take a very quick bio break?
Perfect.
Grab drinks or snacks or whatever we need,
All right.
and then we will be back in, let's say, 3 minutes.
Great.
Okay.
3. A tight 3.
Perfect.
All right.
Great. Thanks. Great. That's great, Eric.
Do I look cool? Should I be discovered this way?
You definitely look cool.
Yeah, I could be DJing in Canada somewhere right now. I'm that cool.
You could.
Yeah, look at that.
All right.
This is what my character looks like all the time, by the way.
So you don't stand out at all.
No. It's got the glowing glasses and the flashing cat ears. What you can't see is that I also have a giant platinum codpiece in the shape of a stormtrooper helmet.
I just assumed so.
Yeah, I mean, I usually wear it. It's true.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Farm. No.
I should have warned Kev beforehand that it's going to be a problem.
this is par for the course. Yeah, George, you've seen my stream. You've seen my players.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like we're kind of holding back a little bit because
yeah, it gets worse.
I don't want to interrupt the game.
Why are you being nicer to Kevin than to me? I don't.
Oh, because I don't care if you like me, George.
Well,
I know you don't like me. It's fine.
Right.
it's a rare privilege. I was telling the guys in my normal group too that George, you're planning to play with your players, and I was like, wouldn't that be great? And general response is, I'm not sure.
Not sure that's,
we don't mind using DM, but you're kind of a dick when you're a player.
Right. Yes. That's funny.
Well, you know what? The droid's not back. The Jedi's not back. Let's just leave him.
I don't know. We don't need him.
No.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
whoa!
You don't have the droid.
I don't know.
Why
I
does
don't
that
know.
surprise me?
Yeah,
My D20 crashed though again
Oh, it did.
because I'm not seeing anybody on the.
Oh, just
that's weird.
did you try reloading?
I can do that. Yeah, I'll try that.
I was also going to say, I didn't find it. I don't know how to soda, so I'm just going to drink straight whiskey the whole time. I hope that's cool.
Yeah, I think that'll be helpful.
That's appropriate.
I do like their I just downloaded because I didn't have the Star Wars Dice app, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't it? It's a good app.
Yeah.
And it does the little magical, it makes the noise, it does the 3D rolling, it does all that, and the only annoying, can you turn off like the little Star Wars background noise that goes on all the time?
I silenced it. I don't know.
Yeah, because that's
you can.
that's one of those really nice touches that just drives you fucking crazy. It's hey guys, it's like you're actually on an Imperial starship rolling dice. And it's like,
it's true.
But it's a great app. Anyone out there?
It's good for $5.
Yeah,
It's totally worth it.
Well, it's handy too because the dice are fun, but they do chew up time looking at them and doing the math and whatever.
Yeah. Agreed.
I know people are like $5 for a dice app. That's on. I'm like, you pay $15 for just the actual dice.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Yeah, it's true. Because you really need like 2 sets of the dice.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's perspective is skewed. Like, I don't want to pay $5 for a dice app. That's all it is. How much have you paid for actual dice in the course of your gaming lifetime?
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
Anyway,
I say we give Ptolemy 1 more minute.
Yeah,
sure.
To become a droid again.
Right now, he's turned into a real boy, so we're not going to see him.
See, I think he's a droid on Westworld. No. It's a subtle hint.
Deeper and deeper.
You never know.
Has anyone tried rolling the actual roll 20 dice again yet?
Oh yeah, let's give it a try.
Again. Oh whoa! Something weird has happened. My cursor's dead. Oh, there we go. We're back.
Let's see.
Still not working.
Roll.
Yeah, still not.
That's weird.
Still not working as far as I can tell.
Yeah, no.
There is a specific script that you need to post in the game, and I would have to actually take it out and then post it back in again.
Oh, I mean, this is working okay.
This is where
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's
Tommy will he'll join in when he gets
it. Sure.
So our scene opens on basically the surface version of one of those kind of hollowed out corridors. So this is kind of if you think kind of like like an aircraft hangar sized kind of area lit by a bunch of phosphorescent coral.
Okay.
And in this area, there are a bunch of small. Hello. There are a bunch of structures that all seem like much fancier versions of the, of the structures we saw underground. This neighborhood is probably the one of the wealthier neighborhoods for Surftown in Coral City, or Coral City 1, I should say. But the streets are strangely absent of people, apart from some Imperial Army people. So I saw those like black uniforms and whatever else who are sort of walking patrols around here.
Always a good sign. Let's just walk ahead.
Yeah.
Now, when you say it's absent of people, is that because you're like racist against fish and don't think they count, or
It's just really
yes. Gills are people too.
Nothing but monsters. It's all Imperial propaganda.
Right,
tearing down the
exactly.
value of this neighborhood?
Kev is representing the Empire here, so that way.
Exactly.
They don't feel pain like you and I do.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm guessing it's actually kind of deserted.
Okay.
So what do you what we see is the 5 of you, the 4 of you guys and Dr. Packabar, sneaking up in a one of the alleyways between the two, and he gestures towards one of the buildings, and the sign on it says the bad motivator. And you can see in one of the windows there is a on display.
A shop? It's a head shop, isn't it? It's a head shop.
It's his collection. Basically, it's his like high-end collector antique droid sort of shop.
Okay.
So
I see.
My recommendation is that I walk first just to see if anything comes out, and then I'll just be like, I'm looking for parts or something.
Well, yeah, and Tommy, just to make sure you are totally clear, there are Imperial Army walking around. My guess is they've sort of cordoned off the street because they know that this is his shop and they're looking for him to, in case he comes back. So, but that plan is still good.
First. They don't
So
know
maybe we
me.
shouldn't just walk in the front door.
Well, but he's a droid.
I'm a droid.
Oh, you can walk in the front. Yeah.
I'm down with that plan. Just want to make sure.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about setting off whatever they have in terms of looking at how they're securing it.
Got it.
Okay. So what we'll do then is, why don't Asig, you give me a I think that's a deception roll. Are you trying to sneak up, or are you just trying to
Just walk up?
Yeah.
Okay. If anybody stops me and see if they're doing anything. I was gonna basically like window shop or see if anybody's like around. I'd heard about him.
Okay. So give me a deception and deception roll, and we'll make the difficulty 1. Let's see here, 1 red and 2 purples.
Okay, so my thing has 2 yellows and 1 green, so I do that.
Yep.
1 green, and then I add yours.
Yes, please.
What is yours?
1 red and 2 purples.
That's a lot. I mean, I think you're being excessive. I think
he warned us at the beginning.
Yeah.
During the break, and now you're all angry.
I think it should be like 1 teal at most.
Well, congrats. The end result is 2 failures.
2 failures.
Okay.
So you go striding up towards this thing, and then you hear one of the Imperial Army officers kind of like, "Hey, what are you doing on the street?"
Who are you? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, great. Yeah. Do you know about this place? It has like droid parts. I'm looking for a cord master. I used to have it's basically like a kidney. I used to have one. It's basically blown out, but I've heard he's the only person that has one. It's from maybe about 3,000 years ago. I don't know exactly. Were you talking to me?
How did you get in here? There's a group of about maybe 4 in total, and it's sort of the sergeant or whatever who's talking to you.
Oh, I walked. My legs are still fully functional.
No, how did you get in this area? This is secured.
Side note, perception-wise, I'm gonna check the whole street. Are these the only 4 Imperials like within eyeshot, or
Yes.
are they all over the place? Okay, so
there's probably like other patrols that are here, but this is the only one you can see.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was just I don't know. There was no one. Did anybody stop us? Did we sneak here? How did we
Who's
get
your
here?
owner?
Are you, Ptolemy? Are you asking the out of game right now?
Sorry.
My owner. Who's your owner? You're the one in the fancy outfit. I'm walking around. I've been around longer than you. What's your name?
So
What's your
one
name?
of the one of the soldiers says, "Sir, I think he's got a bad motivator."
Motivate. I'll show you motivation. You're a soldier. Do something with your life.
Kiro,
Look at your choices.
and
Look
Ray,
at your choices.
Yeah.
I think you've been to this rodeo before.
Yeah.
So you can probably, if you guys want to interject or do anything or whatnot, you guys can feel free to.
I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I said.
I almost feel like the time is to.
Yeah.
George, should we just start shooting? I mean, should we?
I think so.
No,
I think we're gonna take these guys out.
I mean, is there anybody else around? I'm using this opportunity to see if there's any other like defenses of this building.
You can't see anyone else. No, not at this point.
Can I see the whole front of this building?
Yep.
Okay, so no one else has joined them. Has anybody seen them? Is anybody else walking?
No, and they haven't used their comms whatsoever yet either.
Great.
They seem focused on.
No, okay, this is a good time.
Yeah. So I say, I don't know, West, if
right,
Dre
so
can
I'm
use
gonna
this
walk
force.
past
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
I'm gonna walk past them at the building and say, like, I'm gonna try to get in there so that their eyes follow me around.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
great. So I think we should go into combat. And I can tell
in
you,
there. I'm walking in there, guys.
No, that's good.
You can't stop me.
you do that. Dre, can you foresee, or is that only a one-time? How often can you do that? Wes?
I think Dre can do it as long as he's got force points. Actually, I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think he's
Wes?
gone.
Wes, are you still there?
Hello?
Yeah.
Ah!
Can you we're about to go into combat. Can you use your foresee ability again, or are you limited?
I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how frequently I can use it if we're not using force points individually.
You are individual, so if it costs you force points, you just spend one of your force points to use it.
I see. All right, gotcha. So yeah, I can use. Let's see.
If you can, it would be great. Only because these guys haven't, called anybody on the comm.
Right.
If you can't, no
I
worries.
If you want to do maneuvers, I could do another.
I guess.
So
How
one
far?
of the
are we?
maneuvers you guys can do is to aim, which gives you a blue on your attack.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's helpful.
I will do that.
Yeah, and my plan is to throw a stun grenade.
Okay.
All right, if you're going to do that, then I will draw my carbine and aim and prepare to shoot at one of them, like the minute your grenade goes off.
Okay.
Cool.
Dre.
All right, so I let's see.
What's your plan here?
What other skills?
Hey, what happens with electricity in the water?
Well, you guys are above surface now. You guys are in Sir Town.
So I will give I'll give Kiro and Kai maneuvers.
Okay.
And then I will, I guess, draw my lightsaber.
Okay.
And protect Pakabar.
Okay.
Why don't you protect me?
As soon as you get you activate the lightsaber, his eyes kind of get big, and he's like, "Are you sure you don't know Pash or Dash?"
Does he mean Dash Rendar?
Rendar?
'Cause
Yeah.
that guy's a jagoff.
It's actually so Pakabar is actually a recurring character from my Star Wars campaign, and he's
Is
one of the
Dash
guys-
Rendar in there? I don't want to insult Dash Rendar if he's a
No,
friend.
his what's the character? What's his last name? Dash Vega.
Vega.
Okay.
Apparently, he's seen Pulp Fiction too many times.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Dash Vega.
It's appreciated.
Yeah. So okay, so you guys can act in ASIC. I'm going to assume that what you're doing is assisting. So you distracted them to give everybody else a blue dice on their attacks.
I'm walking. My back is to them so that all the guys have turned around and looking.
Yeah, so they're kind of like, "Hey, what are you? No, come over here." And they're all their back. So you guys all get a free action right now and an extra blue on top of whatever other bonuses you have.
Okay.
This is at short range, which is 1 minute. So it will be one maneuver to get there, which means the difficulty to hit is only 1 purple.
Okay, that's actually great.
Wow.
My stun grenade has a range of short, so I can do it
Perfect.
from in here. So I'm gonna roll.
He throws it, and then it drops through the water just at his feet because of the water resistance.
No, actually, I got 3
We're
successes.
above water. We're above water.
I got 3 successes, 1 advantage, and 1 triumph.
1 triumph. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So mechanically, in this game, there are different kinds of adversaries you can fight. There are nemesis, which are like Vader level threats that usually use the same rules you guys do. There are adversaries, which are like mid-level kind of chumps who have some of the same rules, and then there are minions who are like the disposable hordes of stormtroopers. These fat guys are minions, which means that you get to, when you do damage, you get to spill over into the next one. So if you do enough damage to affect, like, say, 2 or 3 of them, you affect that many. With a triumph, I'm just going to say that you toss the grenade in there, and there's that blue kind of pulse that goes out, and they all fall down. I'm guessing, ASIC, you're not sparing a step and is continuing on right towards the shop?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So these guys all drop behind him, and ASIC walks up to the shop, and it's locked.
Hey,
then he turns back around and goes, "Hey guys!"
Oh God, come on! Look at your choices.
Well, Dr. Packabar, do you have keys to get in here, or how?
He pulls out this little in his kind of like that weird claw they have. He hits a button. The light goes from red to green, and then the door slides to the side.
All right, I think
so
let's go right.
Yeah,
Drag
let's drag the bodies. Yeah,
Guys, I got the door open, guys.
Yeah, thanks, ASIG. Nice work.
Nice work, guys.
You
Door's
did it.
open.
Okay. So you drag the bodies inside, and basically it's that classic Star Wars thing where as the last body is dragged in and it goes shut. The next patrol kind of comes by and says, 242, are you there?
Yeah.
242.
Do we hear that being said through their comm links?
You do, yeah.
Who's good at deception?
I'm pretty good. I've got.
Go for it.
All right, I basically say, this is 242. Nothing to report. Over.
Okay. We'll just say you do that. That's
okay.
Fine.
All right.
That sounded good.
Yeah, that was.
I wasn't gonna kill that little.
No,
I didn't want.
Yeah, you sold it to role playing.
Huh.
Yeah,
So you say that, and you kind of there's this tense moment where you're kind of looking at everyone else like, and they say Roger, and then they carry on.
I didn't want to start painting a word picture there that was going to get us in trouble later.
Right. No, I
I
appreciate
didn't
that.
realize this, but my deception is pretty awesome
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
because I'm a spy.
Well, because you deceived yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could do this.
Impressive. Yeah.
And it's not a judgment on anybody's deception that just happened just now.
Uh-huh.
But going
No. Sure, it
we
isn't.
may want to.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
see it.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Fair.
Great.
Fair. All right,
I'm gonna
great.
bind, by the way, I'm gonna bind them up with whatever I can find nearby, and I'm not going to be kind about it.
yeah, no problem.
Gentle.
Great.
Yeah.
Packabar
And then-
has a surprising amount of restraints available in his shop.
I'm still not
A
surprised.
questionable level of restraint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
Perfect.
there is a dungeon, and don't go down there.
Yeah. No. We'll stay up here. Okay. So
Okay.
where is this? Where do we have to look? Can he point out what we need to get? Where it is?
Sure. What it is actually an old. So in this shop, there's all these amazing, incredibly rare droids. He's got 2 pristine droidicas that are on display in sort of the main room.
Wow.
Focal points. There's some of those like dueling droids that we saw in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh yeah.
There's even some really unusual and rare droids from the Rakatan Empire
Whoa.
from thousands and thousands of years ago, from the time of the Old Republic.
Yep. Nice.
And he walks past all of these things. He goes to this tarp and pulls this dust-filled tarp off, revealing a gonk droid.
That
Okay.
it?
Awesome.
that's what we're bringing.
Yeah. Is this where you're hiding whatever information we need?
He says, yeah, what do you think? I'm going to hide it in something that says, steal this?
Well, you know what? I have to give it to you. That's a good idea.
He rolls his eyes and he says, come on, dum-dum. And then this thing kind of, little
Okay,
lights kind
well,
of go across.
I mean,
That's
you don't
kind
need
of
to.
offensive.
Yeah.
That's a
I mean,
little
come on. It's,
What? You do say that, and then as it kind of flashes to life, you can see its insignia, and it's DM.
It's not damn. It's just
yeah.
it's
Still
not cool.
a little questionable.
But
so-
it's not my world.
and steps
Now-
forward. Boom. It kind of does that lumbering gonk droid
Yeah.
walk.
Does it
And-
walk like there's maybe a small person inside? Like, I'm just,
A little,
Exactly.
a little bit.
just
Yes.
asking. Okay.
So it starts lumbering forward. He's like, "All right, where's your ship?"
So, well, we're getting you to a different. Oh no, yes, we are. We just get you to our ship first.
Can I look around and see if there's anything like super rare and awesome that I might be able to attach to my own body?
Oh yeah, there's for sure in the shop. There's a like pristine quality commando droid of your sort of make, and I'm assuming you do the like. Kind of, one of the arms goes off, and you were.
Great. I could
Got
use
a
it.
better arm.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab one of those comms from the fallen army Imperials, just
Sure.
so we can overhear in case somebody's getting close.
Okay.
And then I think we should probably check, like, peer outside to see if there's anybody on the streets.
Okay. So you go out there and you look out, and you're able to sort of time the patrol such that you could sneak out the front or the back and make your way back to one of the main kind of corridors leading back to the hangar bay.
Great. Does he still? Packabar still has his hood and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I suggest that he keeps that on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out of game here for a second. Just do we have a plan besides just him wearing a hood to get back? I mean, do we need more of a plan? Should we
We
put him
probably
in a body?
need more.
Like,
Exactly.
I'm just pulling
I'm
this
just
out
gonna
of
go
my
like
ass.
this. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just with a fake mustache. Like, should we like put him in a crate or something and have a couple of droids carry it, back to our ship, like we're pretending to be carrying some sort of cargo, or
You mean carry the gonk droid?
or even
Or-
him, or even the doctor who they're clearly looking for?
No,
Like,
that's not a bad idea.
Should we pack them up in some sort of boxes? And he's got plenty of droids who could carry them for us, and we can just look like what we're supposed to be, which is a bunch of cargo dudes, bunch of merchants.
I guess we should at least
cargo.
look. We should at least check out the shop and see if there's anything that we might be able to use.
Sure. There's probably some like loader droids that, or at least one that would be able to double for that. It
Okay.
will take a little bit of convincing to get Packabar to get in that crate.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
convincing or neuroparalytic.
That's awesome.
And the other thing, and I'll ask him this: like, are you okay with leaving all of these droids behind? Because
His
Doctor?
eyes kind of narrow, and he gets a smirk on his face. He's like, compared to this trash, what I've got, and he hits Dum Dum, is worth thousands times more.
all right, fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
And we think it'll be much safer for you to get inside this box.
What do you mean?
Well, they're looking for you. They're not looking for a box. The Imperials are looking for you. They were out searching for you. They posted guards around your shop. They're not
Right.
looking for a box.
Well, you look capable. Why don't you shoot your way out of here?
Well,
They can't
we
be
can do
everywhere at
that.
once.
But
We
here's
could
the
do that.
thing. When the Imperials see the five of us walking and they see four people they've never seen before and a calamari in a hood meeting the description of Dr. Packamar,
Yeah.
you're going to be the target, not, say, a box.
Yeah. Get in the box, Dum Dum.
Dum Dum starts.
No.
Sorry. Sorry, Dum Dum.
Wait a minute. This was your plan all along, wasn't it? He's looking at you, Kiro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I can't take credit for it.
And
you
I
can
give
feel
him
free
sort
to
of
apply
my
the neurotoxin now. If
Yeah,
you
I
like.
think I'm going to. I'm gonna in the back. It's all gonna be fine, and I pat him on the back, but I neurotoxin.
Hey, did you hit me with a?
Man.
All right, let's
Awesome.
put him in the box.
Put him in the box.
Yeah, so he's in the box. Everybody gets a force point for that. That was funny.
Nice.
Okay.
A walking
Awesome.
genital. That guy has a lot.
Yeah.
So we cut now, I guess, to you guys making your way back towards the loading station, and there's that same
and
frantic
just-
activity there, people trying
yeah.
to get off planet, and we
Just
see
so
this
I'm-
loading droid kind of.
Yeah.
Just so
walking
I'm
along.
clear,
I'm
we've got a
going to-
loading droid carrying
How
the
about-
box with
let's
Packamar
split
and
up.
Dum Dum.
Let's
Okay.
split up so the two of you are walking with the box and I'll just be walking with the droid. So it's just
Okay.
two droids walking.
And what about Dre? Where should Dre be?
Hey, we
Dre-
forgot about the Dre.
Should he go ahead of us just to make sure anything?
I think that's a good idea. Dre, what do you think about that?
Sure. Yep. I can walk ahead.
and just sense out how I don't know how many issues we're gonna have.
Yeah. Well, we're
Okay.
about to find out.
Okay.
So you guys, let's do this. I'm gonna get the 3 separate groups to make stealth checks for me, please.
Okay.
So I'll get Asig, if you could make a stealth check against I'm gonna say 2 purples. Actually, everyone's difficulty will be against 2 purples, and we'll go from there. What you guys can choose to do as well is just have, if you're in a group of more than 1 character, you can just have someone else assist to add a blue to the dice.
Okay, so
Or-
I've got
yeah.
a pretty good stealth. Because I've got high agility, so I've got 3 greens and a yellow.
Okay.
So-
I've got 4 greens, so you're a little bit better than me.
Okay, and I can add your blue to that. So, and okay.
Hmm.
Ba-ba-ba, 4 greens
So
and
mine is-
yellow,
I just have a
purples.
I just have a
Ooh.
green, a yellow, and then 2 purples.
Yes.
Yeah.
No
we got
other-
one success, 1 advantage.
I got 4 successes.
Okay.
Oh, so
And I have
then
a
you win.
failure.
I have a 0. Should I use a force point to try it again?
Unless you want to be
Yeah, I think
Discovered.
you just got a force point. I think this is a good expenditure.
So then what do I do now?
just go ahead and roll again.
Roll again with a blue?
Same dice pools.
The
before.
whole pool, yeah.
With a blue or just you're
with-
using the force point? Do I add a blue to it?
Whatever you had before, whatever dice pool you just rolled, just hit reroll.
Oh,
So
okay.
you should
So I
have.
did not add a blue. I got 1 success and 1 threat.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. So you guys, the droids sort of make their way into the hangar around the same time that Kiro and Kai and Dre do. Dre, you came in separately, right?
Correct.
Yes.
How did you do, Dre?
1 failure.
1 failure. Okay.
Do you want to
So-
use a force point to reroll that, Wes?
My
Yeah, as long
guess.
as you didn't roll a despair, you can re-roll.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sorry, not a force point. I mean a destiny point.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay, this time around I have 2 advantages and 2 failures.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Is
you
that the end
fail
result?
upward.
I think what happens is, so the scene we see, sort of one end of the hangar, we see the 2 droids kind of walking in, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. There's Dum Dum and Aseg. And then we see at the other end, Kiro and Kai making their way along with the, are you guys the ones with the loader droid?
Yeah, I think we have the loader droid in the box.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Dre is trying to be as inconspicuous as he can. And there's, Flunky behind that same security terminal that Asig was at. And he's standing there and he's entering some things in. They've, it seems like they've got more people in here now after the alarms and stuff went off. And the guy looks up and his eyes kind of narrow as he sees Dre walk by, as if he's like, I think I recognize that guy.
Mm.
And I think that because you guys rolled so many successes and advantage, I'll let you guys respond to that, either Asig's group or Kiro's group, before this guy goes.
Okay, cool.
So
so
are we
just-
noticing that he's noticing?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you guys are
Okay.
both kind of keeping an eye out and knowing that Dre had, kind of
Okay.
flubbed the first entry thing. You're
I'm going
a little mindful of like, let's just make sure he's okay.
I'm going to walk up to him and say, "Excuse me, my friend here needs servicing. Do you know where the nearest droid servicing section is
Sure.
in this town?"
And-
We did get some water on us earlier. There's a lot of water on the planet. I don't know if you're familiar with water and droids. Not a great situation, but he did get some water. So if there's a droid servicing area in the near area,
And while he's doing all that distraction, I'm going to try to place myself and the box with the loader droid in between his line of sight from him to Dre. So
Sure.
Dre
Okay.
can get out of the
So then what I'll do is, Asig, you can go ahead and make a deception check against 2 purples, and I'll give you 2 blues on top of that for the cockamamie story that you're coming up with, and the
It's true about
efforts of
water.
Kiro.
It's true about water.
It is true about water.
Deception is yellow, green, 2 purples, and a blue or 2 blues?
2 blues.
Okay, I got 2 successes and 2 advantages.
Nice.
Nice.
That's the best roll I've had.
That's a very advantageous success.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm open for pitches for what you guys want to have be the effect for the advantages.
We win.
You win. The Empire's like, well, we've had a good run.
We had a good run, but now that this droid here is asking for help, we think we may have to shut everything down.
Ptolemy, I feel like you're the one with the story. So,
well, I think he
You
should
decide.
walk us in a direction or something, or like I just want him to be away from Dre, basically.
So that's your success part. So you've absolutely got that. He's completely forgotten about Dre because of the droid and whatever else. You're also going to get some other benefit that will manifest to something else you'll do. So, for instance, what you could do is, while you're distracting him, you could quickly slot your thing in and clear your flight plan and release the locks on your on the Celestial Bantha.
that's awesome.
Oh, great. So what if he walks us over to a terminal that is like a map, but
Yep.
it also has like a readout of like all like the ships coming in and out, and then like how many like droid repair ships have come in, and he walks me over there, and then I use that basically to like
And we
Okay.
see, on the display screen, there's that weird, it's not interlac because that's fucking Legion of Superheroes, but I can't remember what the...
It's Orabesh.
Orabesh, thank you.
Orabesh.
Yeah. So there's those symbols going around, but we can see that, the one that says Celestial Bantha, it's got a red kind of like lock on it, and then it turns to green.
Awesome.
And you hear this chunk inside the ship, and you see DJ Qualls gagged and tied up, kind of like... "Ah!
Awesome.
So
That's great.
you guys are able to...
I want to ask a very awkward question that the thing that he slots in, where is it located
No,
on
I
his
think that-
body?
Let's just leave it to the imagination.
I don't
Yeah.
know. That's exactly why I am asking. I do not want to leave it to you.
It's a trap. Got it. Yeah, that's
All right,
good.
whatever. Okay.
All right, let's go.
let's
Let's
go.
go. Get in the
Get
ship.
out of here.
See you guys,
Take,
walls.
you're able to board the Celestial Bantha, and just for those listening at home, this is what this ship looks like.
Yep. How
You
it
board
lands, we don't know.
Do you have a
Doesn't
plan
matter.
for how you're dealing with Deck Officer Qualls there?
I feel like we should take him,
I'm
right?
happy to kill him.
Well,
That's my guy.
Yeah, he's got
Let's-
information though.
Let's let him go when we're a mile in the sky.
That will let him go.
Wow, you guys are.
And he can walk back from the sky. Do you know what the Empire did to an entire planet full of
Oh,
people?
trust me, but I'm looking for my sister, and he might have some kind of information. I have no idea. I can't take the
All
chance.
right.
We kill a guy. that
We'll
might-
lock him in a closet. You have halfway to the journey home before I decide to take it.
I hear you. I hear you.
What's that?
I also know where you actually live. Okay. So yes, I'm gonna try to interrogate the guy. No, wait. I'm the pilot. I can't.
Yeah. Oops. Oh
Can we
well.
just leave
Well,
him tied up
I'll
to
ask
the
him.
label?
I'll see what he says. You know.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. I
Right.
put him in the smallest crate possible we have in this.
That would probably be the one that Pakabar's in right now.
All right,
let's
we'll
get
wait
him
till we
out of
wake
there.
Pacabara. Doesn't matter. So we're
Are you okay? You fell asleep.
Fell asleep, my carapace. What do you mean? What'd you do to me?
Look, I did. It was for your own good. I saved your life. We're already
Yeah.
we're getting off planet right now.
I'm gonna have this crick in my neck for weeks. Oh,
It's better than having a vibro blade up your back.
He looks over at the gagged and bound Imperial officer. What's he here for?
He got in our way.
We'll kill him.
working
He
on
might
it.
have information. You know how valuable information is.
See, even Scrotum Neck wants us to kill him. All right. So I mean, I'm just saying, let's kill
I'm
him.
trying to turn my life around, man.
It's actually it's Danish. It's Skrodomnik.
Sorry.
Oh wow!
Apologize for that.
Of the Coruscant Skrodomniks?
That's right.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah. Long and distinguished line.
Oh, excellent. We have a lot to discuss on the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get up into the cockpit and try to start her up and get her out of here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna load DJ Souls there into the box.
Boom. It's sealed up.
Nice.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So, you guys are able to, get the ship sort of picks up and leaves, and then as the
When Skrodomnik is not looking, I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna like very secretly patch into Dum Dum and see if I can find anything of interest.
interesting. Okay,
Mhm.
so would you kindly give me a computers check, and the difficulty is actually going to be 2 reds and 2 purples.
Okay, so that's 3 green for computers.
No, you're
You
better.
gotta have
3
better
yellow.
than that.
You
have
have
any
to be better
yellows?
than that. Yeah.
3
Oh,
yellows.
okay, that's not
right.
I just read it
3
wrong. 3
Okay.
yellows and then 2 reds.
How do you read
2
the
2
color
reds, 2
wrong?
purples.
Oh, and so that's all I get. So then,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all you get.
I got 3 successes and 2 threats
3 successes, 2 threats. Okay.
as the end
So-
result.
Okay. So there is an enormous amount of information on this. Like just this is like the proverbial drinking from the fire hose, situation where it's just you're sort of drawn back by just how much data that there is in this thing.
Okay.
There's also some fairly unusual subroutines. Like first off, this is absolutely not a normal gonk droid. There's substantial changes that he's made to this. You're familiar enough with droids to pick that up. There also seems to be some partitioned kind of parts of this, like as if there were other droid brains implanted in here.
Interesting.
Huh. That's cool.
Hmm.
And it does seem like you may have activated one of those subroutines.
Oh no!
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Unhook from
Like,
the
quickly, several-
Just like walk away.
No, I think you forget to unplug.
There's several terabytes of Twilight pornography on there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man.
so Kiro is you hop up in the pilot. Is somebody a co-pilot on this as well?
I wouldn't mind having one.
Well,
Dre or Kai.
I could. I don't have pilot space skills. I have pilot ground skills and a very high agility. So I'm as good a co-pilot as any.
Great.
Yep. That's
As
Leia
any
can drive a speeder bike.
no pilot skills. So yeah.
Are you better at gunnery?
No, I don't have big gun. I don't have the big gunnery skills.
Does anybody have engineering?
I do not.
Where
I
is
have
engineering?
mechanics. Is
Mechanics. Yeah, that'll do.
engineering?
Yeah, that'll do.
Where's
Okay.
engineering?
Engineering is not a skill.
It's not
Yeah,
a skill.
exactly. that was
I
a,
have
ATM
it.
again.
that was a
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
Oh, I have.
I have a level 12 in engineering, but I didn't find any place to put it on the sheet. So I
Oh
just
damn.
so
Well, let's use mechanics then.
All right. So as this thing is,
I'll be the mechanic.
as we see the celestial bantha, take off into space and or leave the atmosphere, we cut back to the to that same kind of hangar bay, and we see Captain Aristes again.
I'm back.
God,
He walks to where the that guy who was sort of you guys bamboozled to get out.
Mhm.
He says, "Did they leave?"
Uh oh.
And he looks over and says, he kind of hits the pad. Yes, although I don't. They didn't get clearance. I don't. And he Aristes puts his hand up and he says, "That's fine.
Oh man.
That's fine." And he turns and he has that sinister imperial, smirk.
Yeah.
And we, kind of wipe to the cockpit of the celestial bantha with the lights, the stars streaming by outside.
Mhm.
You guys are en route. To,
Yeah, I think it all went perfectly.
Albar.
Yeah.
No problems.
That was
You
easy.
know, I don't know why, but I suddenly want to check every inch of this ship. I don't know why. I just
No, I think it's all good.
Yeah, I feel dirty about this ship.
So as you guys are flying along, is there anything you're doing? It's probably a day or two of travel in between. Is there anything you were doing in your kind of like downtime?
I mean, I'm gonna be running standard mechanics maintenance on the ship, like you do.
Yeah.
I'm flexing my new arm. I have a power arm.
I'm thinking about cutting ritualized scars in DJ Souls there, but I don't know if that's really a.
Yeah.
Wait, how long are we on this flight?
For a day.
You know what? It's so by the rules as written, they've just like any other RPG. There's like days in between, but for the purpose of this, we'll just say the scene.
Okay.
All right.
Can I ask Pakabar if there's any improvements he can make to me?
Yeah, I can make some improvements to you. You got looks like you've got your cervix, your neck servo is your cervix. Your neck servo is.
Didn't know that cervix.
This is taking a very ugly turn. No,
This is why you go to the experts.
Oh my God!
Bad-
I'm
bad
pregnant.
touch. Bad touch.
It's my first pregnancy. First baby.
Really, you should be putting some trigger warning stuff at the start of this.
Touching the droid in the bathing suit area. That's not cool.
He does suggest a bunch of improvements he could make to like streamline your processing and other ways to sort of like improve your overall performance. You've got hold on here. What's the skill I'm looking for here?
Haro, did you want to interrogate that guy before we throw him out into hyperspace?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Why don't you give me
He
a
convinced us not to kill him. So.
vigilance check, please, ASIG?
Vigilance. I got one advantage.
What is that noise in the background?
That's Wes is at a party.
Oh, okay. He's
So
the guy at the party on the internet playing the Star Wars role-playing game. Everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a guy who's committed. So ASIG, you so you I don't know if you how you feel about Pakabar right now, but you're not getting either good or bad vibes from him whatsoever. He seems to definitely know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Kai, ever since you went to the briefing on this, there's been sort of like a thing kind of like nagging in the back of your mind, like, why the fuck do I recognize that name, Pakabar?
Okay.
And
Yeah. Why do I recognize that name, Pakabar?
Why don't you give me another underworld check,
Okay.
please? Yeah,
What's
against difficulty will be 1 red and 1 purple.
Okay. Oh, there's even odds on this. Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on. Now the dice decide not to work. Hang on, let me reload.
Sure.
We can just assume I get like 8 triumphs. Why don't we just do that?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds good. For some reason this particular link is not. It's taking forever to reload. I couldn't tell you what's going on. Hang on. Oh, are we back? We are back. Okay, so and 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and we roll the dice and 1 success, 2 advantages. Hey,
Awesome. Okay.
My underworld knowledge has kicked in hardcore.
So you're thinking, and out of force of habit, you get to sort of the comlink or the whatever the intergalactic whatever comlink thing is, and you type in something you haven't typed in for a number of years.
Oh, hang on. I got to ask you to pause here and say that again.
Yeah,
Hang
for
on a
sure.
second.
Yeah, one second.
Okay, yes, say that again. Sorry.
So what do you you head back to sort of your quarters and you access the whatever the the galaxy web access or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it right now.
Yeah.
But you
The LucasNet.
It's a HoloNet. It's a HoloNet.
the HoloNet. Yes, thank you. There you
Yeah.
go. So you type in something that you haven't typed in years.
Scrotoneck.
Your access to the Bounty Hunter Guild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And you start sort of scrolling through, And just out of force of habit, every now and then you'll go back there and scroll through available bounties, right?
Mhm.
And you're looking back at this about 6 months ago.
Mhm.
And then you see that same glowing blue hologram of Pakabar that we saw at the outset of this.
Interesting.
There was a substantial bounty on him that has been claimed. And it's been claimed by a pair of Gand sisters named Ziboth and Silar. And I think with the advantages, you know of these two. These are they're not in the like legendary league of like Boba Fett or you know whatever, but they're definitely strong contenders in the B League.
And did the bounty get claimed about the same time we left the planet?
It's months ago, right?
Shortly before.
Shortly before.
Shortly before we left the planet.
Shortly before you actually were tasked with this mission.
Oh, okay.
So this may not be the Pakabar we're looking for.
You see that, and then we cut to Pakabar's quarters, and he has Dum Dum in front of him there. He goes over to the door, and he pulls out a little unit, holds it up to the locking mechanism, and we see it kind of, and it goes red. He then turns and walks over to Dum Dum. He presses two different, so like a series of keys that are or lights that are on the front, and the whole unit kind of opens up, and there's a whole like computer insides to this thing. He hits a button, and we see this hollow thing, kind of appears. This is the face. This is the face of the Feline that we saw at the beginning, the one played by Tim Roth, young Tim Roth.
Oh yeah.
And he says, then you're en route, says the Feline. And Pakabar says, yeah, we should be there within about 6 hours. Everything's ready? It is. Do you have what you've promised? Yes. I have what you want. And then we sort of cut away. So what we now see is you guys dropping out of not warp, out of light speed. And we see this planet that is basically like bluish gray. It's almost
hang on, I gotta ask you.
What is that sound?
Yeah, Wes, are you in a percussion ensemble right now?
What? No.
There's loud background noise from somewhere, and we're just trying because I can't hear Kevin, and I feel like an idiot. Are you in a loud place?
It's not that
Okay.
loud.
Okay. We're just getting a lot of background noise. That's okay.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry, set the scene again.
That's okay. So you guys drop out of light speed, and we see the Celestial Bantha drifting, or not drifting, but heading towards this this bluish gray orb hanging in the blackness of space.
Jesus.
This, of course, we see from the white lettering underneath is Albard.
Oh, good. Okay.
Asig, what modifications, like in sort of broad strokes, were you looking to get Pakabar to do? Like, were you going to let him mess around with your droid brain?
I was seeing what he does, like what recommendations he would have based on like some of the older parts that I have.
Oh, sorry.
He so there's other parts. I think what he proposes, there's a bunch of stuff he can get for you. And I'm trying to think if would you let him have access to your body?
Potentially.
Potentially. Okay. So we'll keep that in mind for if a despair comes up.
Right now?
No. We'll just keep that in mind as.
Should I take this off?
No, please don't.
No.
Nobody wants that.
Sorry.
So as you're going down, what you know is that you've got the rough location of where this old droid facility is, but it's going to be it's going to take a crack pilot to get you down onto the surface.
I'm right here.
Pakabar is in the cockpit with you, and he says, "Are you sure you're up for this?"
This is where I'm at my best. Just strap in and hold on.
He sits down. He looks over to Kai and says, "I'd hate to see when he's at his worst."
I heard that.
I stare at him like, have you made a joke? I don't understand.
Yeah, he kind of.
And by the way, Eric, has Kai told the rest of us what he found, or you kept that to yourself?
Yes, no, I'm gonna tell the rest of the crew discreetly. And do we have any way of contacting our rebel masters?
Yeah, this is where we can use flashbacks to fill in some stuff. So we sort of have a scene of you guys in the corridor, all meeting together and kind of, Kai, you can go ahead and tell them whatever.
Yeah, I said that he's has a bounty that's been claimed the moment we were sent on this mission. So something weird has gone on for some reason. I don't know why. He's and it's being captured. It's not being killed. He wants to be captured.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking this isn't him, or he made some kind of deal.
Yeah, I'm wondering if either this isn't him or we've been somehow duped into doing the captures.
Is there a way we can set a trap for him by somehow getting him to interact with me or my actual systems and
to see if he's really has the droid skills?
Something maybe.
I want to rate. We can't radio back to Rebel Base until we're out of hyperspace. Is that right?
Did I get anything from Dum Dum?
Probably.
Okay.
Did I get anything that I've saved from Dum Dum or anything like?
You get an advantage, yeah. Like I said, there are those subroutines that you haven't explored yet. You could use a flashback to try and gain access to Dum Dum to try and look into that stuff.
Okay. Well, hacking is like my world. Like that's where I exist. I would like to create a sub. I would like to create a sub order of all of my systems, separated from my actual systems.
Okay.
And then have that as a front-facing element of my operating system, so that when he interacts with it, that's what he sees. And I just want to see if he does anything that might be negative.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
Operating system.
Sure.
That's very clever.
So let's
And I'm gonna go ahead. I was gonna comlink back to the base and tell them this information and ask if there's any way if they've heard about anything about this, and ask them where they got this mission from, and also ask if there's any way we can make sure we have the real guy. Do they have corroborating images?
So for ASIG, let's do this first. ASIG, go ahead and give me another computer's check, and this is going to be against. It's going to be 3 reds and 1 purple, because you're. The contested role is basically it's the opposite of your role, but it's Pakabar's skills. He's quite skilled in computers and quite smart. So,
okay, so I'm doing 3 yellow, and then what am I doing for him?
3 reds and 1 purple.
Jesus, can I use?
Any point? Use a force point to add. You could add another green to yours
as a force point.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I got fascinatingly, I got 1 triumph and 1 despair at the end result.
Oh,
Interesting.
Okay.
That's cool.
So I think what happens.
2 successes, 3 advantages, 1 triumph, 2 failures, 3 threats, 1 despair.
Okay, so I think what happens.
I'm going head to head with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think he likely sees the, we can picture him sort of, using his devices to sort of that are hooked up to you. And he's like, well played, droid. Well played. And he kind of, is playing away. He understands what you've tried to do here. And unfortunately, you do need to get a success in order to get beyond that. So the despair is going to be something that's going to come later. That is a seed planted.
Cool.
The triumph is that just before that happens, you will be able to provide a warning. So there's some significant thing that's going to happen, but you're bound at this point. And what you could also do is use a force point to add in a retroactive thing that you've done in response to that.
Cool.
Yes. Okay.
That's great.
So Kai, you send off the message to the Rebel HQ. What you get back is some information that you knew already. Is that the party that issued the bounty? It took a little bit of digging, but it's the Black Sun. It's one of the major criminal networks that, and Feline are quite heavily involved with the Black Sun as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a third party like the Black Sun, they would love to have the secrets of both the Empire and the what do you call it? And the Rebellion. Yeah.
Right.
And if he does have information with respect to the supply of the Bectorel crop, Bectalara, I think, crop, then that's another huge thing that they could take control of.
Right.
See,
go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say the other tidbit that you got is this base. This is, obviously a really obscure, but like as soon as the Commonwealth of Independent Systems was defeated by the Republic and then the Empire, their people sort of fled all over the place. Some of them ended up siding with the Rebellion, some didn't. But an interesting tidbit: this particular location, the location of his base, this was info that was supplied by Pakabar.
Huh.
Here's my theory. Here's my interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here's my operating theory: is that Pakabar knew he was stuck there, and he issued a bounty to himself to get on himself to get somebody to smuggle him off the planet. And those bounty hunters may have set this mission up somehow to get us to do it for him. And he's been trying to get here. That's my theory. And the other theory is your operating theory, which is that he's not really Pakabar. He's someone else. The real Pakabar has been captured and been replaced with this.
I think the first theory makes more sense now that we know, given what ASIG just found out, that this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to droids and technology. So I think you're probably, and you know about the bounty hunter world better than I do. So something like that anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we know we need to be cautious.
I would like to find a way to lock him in. Although he's really good with like electronics and stuff. We should just neurotoxin him again.
I know. I kind of feel like we. I literally.
You have neurotoxin. Everything looks like a nail.
I literally bought 4 of them. I have 2 left.
Neurotoxin. Everything looks like a nail.
And I literally just looking through them like, oh, that looks cool. I'll take some of those. It's like the only thing I've been using.
I just hope we just knock him out for every phase of the plan he was hoping to mess us up in, and he just wakes up at the end. Wait a minute, how did I get here? Oh, you fell asleep, man. I don't know what the problem. Were you drinking? You drink a lot. Do you have a problem?
So with that flashback, you guys would have had an opportunity to sort of set in contingency plans or whatnot if you want. Is there anything you wanted to sort of do? The people who you're meeting up with, they're still en route and will be there.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna float this out and see who wants to build on this plan. Do we know was the rendezvous point? If the plan is on the up and up, did Pakabar know where we were taking him? He did, right? He knew. Oh, he's gonna get off. We're gonna take him to the rebel base on this place that he knew about. It's not like we're taking him any place that was supposed to be secret.
Let me think here. Because they know how, I think they didn't share that with him because they know how, he happily plays both sides, and revealing the location, even though he may, to be honest, it took digging for them to figure out where this intel came from, because what it is basically it's intel he passed along, but it's not like Pakabar said, hey, use this shit and use this place. This is a great place to meet up. It's, we heard from this old CIS computer and we're going to supply this along to you.
Right.
But because he's the main source of intel from Hydara, that's where they put it to, 2 and 2 together. So when they arranged, not Hydara, Albard. When they arranged Albard as the rendezvous location, they didn't necessarily know. It was just the closest available sort of secret base. Sorry, ASIG, what do you got?
I believe that this guy is Pakabar. You're not
Yeah,
going
I
to
think
run
that's
into
right.
somebody that is this talented
Yeah.
with computers
Yep.
that is just randomly replacing and pretending to be somebody. So
Totally
we could
agree.
probably, the whole reason for doing that thing is just to see if this is the person who says who they are. They are who they say they are. If it
Yep.
was not Packabar, it'd be somebody that was clumsy and would just do something toxic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is somebody that's like probably talented and or more talented than I am. So we at least have to respect him. And
Yeah.
I would say that
I don't have to.
asset here that we have on this ship is not Packabar, but
Me.
what's inside of Dum Dum.
Agreed.
And I think that needs to be our priority
I totally agree.
Yeah.
in terms of presetting plans.
Yeah. No, I
Here's-
feel like we could basically take Packabar out, essentially. I don't think we should kill him, but if we could knock him out and then tie him up, whatever,
Yeah. Here's
and then
what
take Dum Dum.
here's what I suggest. I can set. Go into his quarters. I'll back you up. I'll have the carbine ready, set on somebody. You say, "Hey, we have to knock you out before you get to the secret base, because otherwise, we don't. You could be in jeopardy if you know the location." Use that as the excuse to neurotoxin him. If he resists, I'll shoot him, and then we'll I'll stun him, and then we'll neurotoxin him anyway, and then we'll tie him up in a
Do we have a second? Do we have anything that could replace Dum Dum?
Like another
Oh.
droid?
fake Dum Dum?
A fake Dum Dum?
Here's another question: Could
Are
we
we
copy?
somewhere that we could buy somewhere?
Could we copy everything? out
Yeah,
of
could we
Dum Dum?
distract him and then copy everything that's on there onto the ship's computer, and then we would at least have it?
By distracting him, we could knock him out.
Yeah,
Either way.
I think that's
So-
suspicious. But if we can distract him long enough, get Dum Dum out of there and hook him up to something.
Yeah.
Here's where this is a helpful opportunity to use the. I mean, I think you could use your ship's computer to do that as well.
Mhm.
I noticed that this particular ship that you guys selected actually has room for 2 starships as well. Starships, which would be smaller ones, probably don't have their own nav computers, which would mean that they would require an astrogation droid. Astrogation
Right.
droids are just basically giant, hard drives with wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and heart. Excuse me, and heart.
and heart, yeah.
Of course.
Sorry.
Both.
And personalities for some reason.
So,
Right.
assuming that you guys again are capable and whatever else training things, you may have one of these things on board. So you could take like an R2 unit or something like that,
Yeah.
and basically try and. So
Yeah,
I mean, I would spend a destiny point to make that a reality.
okay,
Yeah.
yep, done. Okay, so
And
you've got
I'm-
your R2.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure Packabar's put fail safes in there to maybe keep people from just copying stuff over.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's good. Well, ASIG, this is what your expertise is.
I can work
so-
on that.
Yeah.
Sure. So who's going to distract Packabar then?
Cairo, I think you should, because
Like
he
the
hates
service
you. We can go in there to apologize to him.
Or I
I-
could go in and start a fight with him.
You
I
can
mean,
go in and start a fight with him.
Wouldn't Dre be the best suited because he can play mind games on him?
Dre, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have mind powers?
What's
I'm
that?
gonna have to run something.
Do you have
Do you
any
have
force
Jedi
powers?
mind powers?
I don't have those sorts of jet.
He
Hello?
went to the ether.
Well,
US.
he's gone.
I think he's saying he has no real mind powers. He's more about
No,
like
the unfortunate thing with hi sweetie, this version of the Star Wars RPG, you kind of play like the McHale's Navy equivalent of Jedi's.
right.
So, like they have powers, but they're not super great at them, and
Yeah.
they're fairly limited.
Yeah.
That's why Luke was so special. He was the
That's-
first non-shitty Jedi.
Yes,
Yeah.
non-Trump Jedi.
Right.
Yeah. Master Yoda, there's Jedi all over the place. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. So yeah, I think so. But Kai, I feel like you should be nearby or with me. I don't know, something just in case.
All
it
right,
goes-
I'll stay by you. I'll
Okay.
have a I'll have my
Okay.
my gun tucked under my jacket.
Okay, so the only question is, so we get how we might create this distraction. We have to get Dum Dum out of there, so that ASIG can actually accomplish this.
Yeah, I mean, when does he sleep? Can we get him to sleep in a different quarters so that we can do it overnight? Because I don't sleep.
Well,
Or,
at that
you
point
know,
we can
when
just
when he goes-
neurotoxin him.
Yeah, well, true. But when he goes to the refresher at some point, we could jump.
Yeah, you want to
know,
corner him in the hall?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Wouldn't it be
Maybe
a
that-
refresher?
If we just totally jump him, like that seems aggressive.
No. Just he goes to the refresher. He's on his way back to his room, and I meet him in the hallway halfway. You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it raises a lot of alarms if we stick.
No.
with another time.
I that's the last resort.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a resort. I just didn't want to go there first. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So
My theory is if we knock him out, he can't do anything with his raised alarms until we're home safe. But this is subtler.
But
But
there might be more to the
I
story.
think
So
his behavior, if he doesn't know anything is up, will say a lot. So if he takes this
Okay.
thing, if he does whatever actions,
I
he
agree.
All right.
Does any of this
Can you
possible
think
that
of
it can even work?
Can you think of a way to inconvenience him without it making clear that either any of you guys are inconveniencing him?
Yeah. What if we made his room incredibly dry? Because he's
He's an aquatic.
he's an aquatic.
You know what
I got
improves
a,
scrotum neck
I
is
got a dryer in my room.
Why does this ship smell like shrimp?
I don't know how often Calamari go to the bathroom. So
Yeah.
I mean, if the plan is to accost him in the hall, we sort of lurk outside his room until he has to pee.
Could we create another problem that we need him to work on?
Yeah. Yeah, we could mess up we can say the ship has dropped out of hyperspace and there's some problem.
It's an old ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell him there's something wrong with the navicomputer or whatever.
And we're not going to get to our destination, which obviously he wants to get to. So
Yeah. Well,
That's actually
move
really
things
good.
along, I guess one thing I'm thinking, guys, is if I love the idea of the refresher,
Mhm.
it's an old ship. Don't doors stick sometimes?
Yeah.
He just gets locked in the
true.
door, and we try to think.
yeah,
But-
that's a great idea.
All right.
So why don't we do this then? We'll do Kai. I'm going to get a mechanics check from you,
Okay.
and it'll be contested by his kind of like expertise in electronics. So your mechanics difficulty will be 2 reds and 2 purples.
Oh Jesus.
But you have had time to plan, so I'll give you a blue for that.
And is there any
Okay.
way that I can aid him in some?
Yep, absolutely. Good. Give another blue. It's your
Alright.
ship, right? Like I think it's
Yeah.
you know the Celestial Bantha backwards and forwards, and then
Cool.
ASIG. I think for you it was what 3 reds and 1 blue or 1 purple
For what?
for the computers
Yeah, that's right.
to access and download this data and hide the fact that you downloaded it.
Oh yeah. I don't know. You tell me.
That was the last roll you made. Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so I think your droid is R2 HD,
Cool.
and
He's a big hard drive.
yeah.
Yeah, can we trade him up for R24K? I think the picture.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
It is better quality.
Yeah, much better quality. I'm gonna have to do the mechanics roll. I think Cairo and I will be waiting in the hallway in case the door gag fails to sort of social
Sure.
engineer him.
So I think what we see then in the the fiction of this is he gets out and kind of like goes his way over to the refresher, goes in and it slides shut. We see Kai walk out and kind of like throw a switch or something, and it
Yep.
he finishes, and then we see ASIG slip into his quarters.
Mm-hmm. And Kai rolls 2 advantages and 1 triumph.
Oh,
nice! Awesome.
He's stuck in that bathroom.
That's amazing. ASIG, you're going to have as much time as you want here, so I'll give you an extra blue to your roll.
Okay, and so I have 3 yellows for computers.
Yeah.
What else am I
so
doing?
3 yellows, 2 blues. Hey, Wes, you back?
I just texted him. I'm waiting.
Oh, okay. I see he's back
looks like
in
he's
roll
here.
20. I just don't know if he's back on the call.
Casually holding a jacket over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 2 blues, 3 yellows against 3 reds.
And one
against
purple.
3 reds and 1 purple.
Okay, no greens. It says,
Nope.
anybody else want to help me? Because we've got plenty of time.
Well, I mean, the only person who can, because I've been helping Kai, Dre could help you.
Yeah, so why don't we say another blue from Dre? When Wes gets on, he can add the narrative of what's what he's been doing to help.
Okay. So this is strange roll. I got 5 advantages and 1 failure.
Yeah, this is the bigger the dice pool gets. This is the downside to this kind of dice mechanic is they get really wonky the bigger the dice pools get.
Yeah.
I got
So
2
five
successes, 5
advantages is
and
enough
3
to really
failures.
kind of match a triumph.
Mhm.
It's not a success. So there's some you don't succeed. Like it's the defenses on this thing are crazy.
Yeah.
So here's what I'll say is you're not able to get the info just yet. But what you realize is that one of those subroutines, because you're copying down the data and you're like, okay, and flashing through this stuff, one of those subroutines has been recently added.
Hmm.
It is an Imperial correspondence subroutine.
Oh
Mhm.
shit. Always good. Wes is back.
And is there a
Uh,
way to copy
purge
these things over even if they're coded?
Yes, I think what'll happen is you can copy it. It's just that he will know that it's been downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
So
Can
don't do
you-
that.
Hmm.
Can you cripple the Imperial code just
Yeah,
so
that's what
that
I'm
that
wondering.
suddenly doesn't work?
I'm
Yeah,
very familiar with Imperial codes,
Yeah.
being an Imperial
Right.
origin myself. But you kind of need a lot of time and somewhere that's not on a ship.
You
So
don't
I
know
wanna
that.
just I want to get
That's
the
not true.
material.
So what we sort of see in the fiction is, Packabar's finished up and he goes over to the door and he kind of like hits the exit thing. Come on, you stupid thing.
All right.
Come
we'll
on.
We'll wait till he starts pounding on the door,
Yeah.
like demanding help, and then we'll go up and say, "What's the problem? Well, what did you do?"
We pounds on the door for a bit, and then he, finally pulls out the. We're gonna see a progressive scenes of him like pulling the door thing apart, and him trying to like, it goes green, and then you're on the other side of the door, and you hit another button, and it goes back to red again.
Mm-mm.
He's like,
Okay. If the minute he shouts for help, I will start to we'll start social engineering it.
Sure,
You know,
yeah, okay.
so-
So he does yell for help.
And we go over there. What's the problem?
Why I'm launching your stupid refresher.
Well, what did you do to it?
What do you mean? What did I do to this? Don't you maintain this thing? Come on.
It's an old ship. Well, I don't have any trouble with it. I mean, all right. We can do. No, sit tight. We'll figure this out. We'll take care of this on our end. Sit tight. I'm gonna go get Cairo.
Get me out of here.
We're working on it. Look, at least if you have to go to the bathroom, you're not in trouble.
I'm not spending the rest of this trip. You already locked me in a box.
Yeah. Well, you're not. You're definitely not, because we all need to use that bathroom at some point. So we go off. We get Cairo, and I have a pretty good deception roll. I mean, we'll sort of clank around on the other side and ask him, hold on that thing while we do this, and like, just won't.
I love the idea. You just banging the door with your tools.
Yeah. All right. Do you see like any rollers moving on your side? Are the rollers moving?
No, nothing.
Okay.
What have you
Okay.
rewired this thing? Have you got this thing set up?
I'm saying it was fine until okay, no, it's not. It hasn't been totally fine. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, we had a Wookiee get stuck in there about 2 months back, so
What do you mean?
might have done some damage on the. Well, it just take a long time to get the smell out, and I start recounting a very long. I mean, you know how Wookiees are, and then it wasn't just we had to change the entire ventilation system, well, just the filters, but then the hair was picking them out. Like
so we
for the
see
next 2
Packabar is
weeks.
inside there, and he's got his head resting on his. Kind of like, So we cut back to ASIG, and you've picked up this information.
I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Hang on.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
So what do you want to? You're gonna have an opportunity to make another computers roll here. What would you like to try and do? You could try and maybe like rework this in a different way. You rolled so many advantages. I'll let you make another effort at this.
Cool.
I want to try to see if the code is a basic, if it's a pretty straightforward code that Imperials use. Like your first pass at stuff are the common coding for Imperial stuff. So I feel like I could take a shot at
this
that.
is sort of the standard. What their slicers do is they will put in this particular thing. What all it does is basically it is the kind of thing where it'll just effectively turn a transmitter on as soon as certain conditions are met. It's like a Trojan code, right?
Uh-huh.
Where again, it's fairly recent, and you're guessing that it was, with your experience with how skilled Packabar is, you're guessing this is something that was slapped in there while that thing was under watch. Like Packabar has not had a chance to see this. He certainly is as skilled as what you are. If you found this, he probably would have found this as well too.
Right. Like my thinking is that this code is it's not high end. It's pretty basic coding. It's basic
Absolutely.
like encryption.
Yeah.
But I feel like I would be able to probably at least try that encryption or try to get past it initially.
Sure.
Just here.
What do you want to do with the code? Like, you're trying to disable it, or you're trying to alter it?
No, I want to see what the message is.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I want to see what the message is from back and forth from the Empire.
Yeah, I think you're probably. We don't need a roll for that. So basically it's not what it's transmitted to do is to transmit location. It's keyed to transmit location to a specific imperial subfrequency to basically like call in the dogs.
Right. So they're tracking us.
Is it our location?
It's not active yet, but it's set to transmit. So basically, it's like once you get to wherever you're getting to, that's when it's supposed to activate.
Great. Can I either disactivate it or activate it to another location?
You could do either of those.
Yeah. So I want to set it to a different location.
I think that's a great idea, Tommy.
Set it to the center of a sun.
That's amazing.
Hey,
I like it.
Kira is.
Yeah.
You're not busy with doing this thing, right?
No, I can help
So
you
what
out.
ideas do you have for where could we put them that is basically a trap?
I think we should put them at the edge of the maw, which is where the spice mines of Kessel are.
Mm.
Oh, I've seen it in the movie
It's like-
Solo.
Yes,
Star Wars
exactly.
Star?
Yes, but it existed before that in actual canon, so the real thing.
Yes.
So it's a giant black hole, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. That sounds great to me.
Okay, I have the astrogation info that I can give you.
So why don't you give me a computer's check against 2 reds and 1 purple. That's the Imperial hacker or slicer.
Okay, so I have 3 yellow against 2 reds and 1 purple.
Yep. And to sort of judge your likelihood of success, reds are identical to yellows, purples are identical to greens.
You got
So if you spent a force point, you could gain an extra green, or you could just save it and re-roll.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a 1 success, 3 advantages, and 1 failure.
No, what's it? Look at results.
Counts out, so it's just 3 advantages.
The end result.
I think it's 2 successes and 1 advantage, right?
Oh, okay, the one under it. Yes.
Yeah.
1
Okay.
advantage, 2 success.
Nice. Okay, so you're absolutely able to alter it, and then there's some other small benefit you get from that. I think maybe what you've seen is that there's overlap in the code, so you could have a blue on your next effort to try and download this data without Pakabar noticing.
Okay.
Cool. I think that's worth doing.
And I keep sort of like, I don't know if I can subtly check on the comm link. Like, how long is this going to take?
Just give us another few minutes.
Should I do that again?
Yes.
What am I doing?
And so what you're going to do is computers with 1 blue. I'll give you another blue because you've effectively, it's like aiming, like you've had a chance to really see the landscape of this of the inside of Dum Dum right now. So 2 blues,
2 red and 1 purple.
3 reds and
3
1
red.
purple. This is Pakabar's level. Yeah.
Okay. It went okay. End result is 2 success. Oh wait, down below that, a 1 success, 1 triumph, and 1 threat.
Nice.
Wow.
Whoa.
Right. So threat is like a half bad, and
It's like a disadvantage.
I think what I'll say is that you're sort of working away at this, and we see you're not sweating at the brow, but you're like one of your loose eyes is kind of like starting to rattle a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's a spark, and you take that threat will be 1 strain damage, which you'll be able to heal by the time you get to Albard.
Yeah, but that totally makes sense.
So you sort of it's the strain of this stuff just causes you a little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
But you absolutely are able to do that.
Awesome.
You download all of it without any kind of stuff, without any kind of issue. He's going to have no idea that you've downloaded that information. And then the Triumph. What do you think the Triumph would gain?
I think that is a triumph, honestly. This has been a lot of work. So
Well, that is what you were working. I mean, it was definitely a hard task.
I think I
but-
would have to get a triumph just to get past all of that stuff.
Well,
I don't know.
but
the
I
other
don't-
option is that
I think we win.
is that the hologram opens up and then we see something.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So what you see is, turns out that Dum Dum records every kind of interaction. So you guys know that it's actually Pakabar who seems to have taken out the contract on himself.
Yeah. Okay. So
thought
that is.
so.
Yep.
So like Dum Dum opens up this way and we're like, what the hell? And then there's this hologram in the middle of it.
So you're sort of Kai. You're sort of stalling him in the one sec here. Oh, Wes is. Oh,
I'm trying to help him here.
oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, he's not in the Google Plus call. Hold on,
Yeah.
I'll shoot him another invite here.
Okay. Cool.
What's Wes's email address again?
It is.
Oh, actually, hold on. I won't put that on the stream. 1 second.
Yeah, right.
Look it up.
Yeah.
It's wes@wes.wes.
Yeah.
By the way, I think this look is exactly how Kai Rizdal looks. He's got
Okay.
the cat ears and the reflective glasses. I think those
Got it. Okay, so I just
That's
sent him a
exactly
new invite here.
Great.
All right. So, yeah. So you see that that whole display, and we sort of see all you guys, listening in on this this whole thing. Kai, you're sort of, you got your head in the doorway watching this, and you can hear Pakabar like, "Hey, are you still working?" And you toss a tool back to boom, hit against the door. But you do get a chance to see the whole hollow conversation between the two of them. The Feline played by
Awesome.
Tim Roth.
So basically, he put a contract out on himself to be captured off that world.
Yeah.
And taken wherever. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So
Were we able to? Pakabar was aware of the Imperial code stuck in the droid too.
I think so.
Doesn't
Okay.
seem like, no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least
Oh,
Asig
okay.
doesn't.
Interesting. And the two Gand sisters.
Yep.
They were involved.
They are, from what Kai knows, is that they're the ones who accepted the contract.
Uh-huh.
Which means they somehow talked the rebels into sending us, probably through skullduggery, into sending us to go get him.
Or leak the information. I don't
Or
know.
leak the information. Yeah, that's possible.
All right. Well, either way, that's a lot of good info to have.
Okay.
So
Is there a way to insert a meltdown of Dum Dum that's set to go off at a certain time?
Or you want to destroy the whole hard drive, basically?
Yeah, I want it to self erase unless certain criteria are met.
Sure. Okay, so that will be another check, and you want to make sure he can't see that, right?
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't do that, but
I mean, you can. We can always blow it up too. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Okay, 1 sec, guys. I need to refresh my roll 20 is being funny here, so I'm gonna close it down and then I'll log back in. You'll still hear me on the Google Plus call, so we can keep talking. I'm just gonna get out of roll 20 and then.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, the problem I think, Ptolemy, is that if you had some amazing successes in the last couple of
you don't
rolls,
wanna
and if
screw
it,
it there.
If you shit the bed.
I feel like we're in such a great spot at this point.
You're correct.
And I can't keep him in the bathroom forever.
Exactly.
I mean, actually, I kind of can.
All right.
Well, you can, but it's going to get more suspicious as it goes.
I'm going to be like, look, this is a critical failure of this store, and you're going to have to be in there for 3 days. We'll feed food to you through the vent at the top.
But what we should figure out is what our strategy is going to be when we arrive.
So we're already sending. See here, the scenario sounded like to me. He wanted us to get him away from the Empire. He put a hit on himself, a bounty on himself to get himself away from the Empire. I think he didn't know that Imperial code was dropped in there, which the Imperials did. So the Imperials were planning to jump out and grab us.
Yeah.
Which now they won't do.
They should be They should be sent to the wrong place. Yeah.
Right. And the funny thing is, we saved his ass without him even knowing that we did it.
That's right.
The good thing is that it will still send the signal, so at least they won't think that something's up.
Exactly.
All right.
That's why I think it was better to have the signal sent rather than disable
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. So if he ever tries to I don't know, accuse us of something, we can point out to him. If he gets mad at us for copying his droid, we can point for poking around in his droid. We can point out to him. We were poking around to find Imperial code, and that is exactly what we found, asshole. And so you're lucky we poked around in your droid if he gives us shit.
Exactly, and that code is still there. He can see it.
Mm-hmm. He can see it for himself and see that we sent them off somewhere else. So, okay. So the real question is like, how much do we not trust him? Like, what do we do? Do we just turn him over to the rebel authorities when we get to where we're going? Or
I mean, this dude is clearly self-obsessed.
Yeah.
He's not gonna care about anybody but himself. So
yeah, he's in it for him.
yeah.
So whatever his plan
But
was
we
about being in it
have-
for him.
We have everything that he could offer.
That's
anyway,
right. I mean, as far as we know, we have everything he
Yeah.
has to offer.
Mhm.
except for a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Well, we might have that too.
By the way, I love that we've forgotten DJ Souls in the box right now. He's been in there probably.
We're just
Come back to him.
Kill him,
we're,
Billy.
we're,
We
we're,
offered to put him out of his misery.
we're having this conversation sitting on the box.
Yeah. 3 days after the mission is over, I'm like, I feel like we forgot something, and then
From before.
oh, he's dead. Jeez. Oh man.
Uh, Okay, so we're just figuring out our plan for arrival. So our plan, what we're supposed to do is, we have an actual rendezvous point that we're supposed to meet the rebel contacts. Is that right?
I think we're going to that base, right?
Yeah,
We are.
based on Albard.
Yeah.
On Fat Albard.
Oh man.
I'm gonna remember it.
I mean, I don't see any reason not to just go proceed with that.
Right, and then
Right.
wait to see what he does. Yeah.
Yeah, Ptolemy. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's why we set it up so that is advantageous for us.
Yeah, exactly. So I say we let him out of the refresher then.
All right. I let him out of the bathroom, and the minute he's out, I just glare at him like this is all his fault. And I brush by him like, let me see what you did in here, and I start looking on the inside of the door.
He's kind of like pinwheels back on his or backs away on his heels and kind of like jeez, this place. I'm not surprised as someone that Kiro flies. He adjusts his
I heard that.
Mhm.
I intended you to.
Oh, we lost Les again.
Yeah, he's gonna restart
Okay.
his computer.
All right.
So we cut back to the this has all happened in the span of a flashback. So we flash back to the
Right.
cockpit.
As a writer, I feel this flashback was maybe
Went on a little too long.
only Tarantino could pull
That's
off a
right. That's
As
right.
in all things, I blame the DM.
That's,
Yeah.
now it's good.
We now have Kiro, it's your time to shine here. So
we'll see what happens.
this is going to be so there's two things that need to happen. I need is it sensors? Oop.
There is something like that.
Well, I think it'd be computers.
Computers.
So computers to activate the sensors to sort of like locate the low frequency kind of landing beacon.
Mm-hmm. I'm not oh, good. Of course, the guy I need right now.
You know what? Let's just take. I actually need to go to the washroom and grab some.
Oh,
more
good.
water.
Okay.
All
Let
right.
me take 2 minutes and then we'll see what's going to happen on Albard.
Sounds
And I'll
perfect.
put away this embarrassing bottle of whiskey. Okay.
Yeah. Get a new one,
Yeah.
and that'll
Watch
give
it.
Wes time to try to get back on.
Yeah. Poor Wes. All right.
I know.
At least.
Oh, he just. I
Is he
think
back?
popped
Wes,
up.
are you back?
He's back on roll 20.
Okay. Is he back on Google?
Let's see. I see him. I mean, I
See his name.
He's an icon.
Wes, you there? Well, if we hear party noises, we'll know. All right. We'll hang tight.
we got. I mean, I think we have a big advantage here. Heading into the third act. Yeah.
Oh yeah, in game. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
kind of nailed down all the twists. It's one of
Which
these
is
things.
great.
Yeah, I know. It's great for us. It's another one of these role playing situations. Unless he pulls out something, we're probably streaming all of this, and all the the listeners are laughing at us right now because they know exactly.
Kevin
what
just went to another computer to hear what we were going to say.
Exactly, and clearly setting up all our deaths.
That's right.
The
Guys, I'm
cargo,
back.
the cargo
I'm back.
compartments
Oh.
are full of snakes.
Wait, is that you
Uh,
telling me?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
What?
Uh,
Okay.
what I was just gonna say before you left is that there's gonna be a computers check. Oh, Wes, you're back. A computers
There we go.
check required to find this low frequency of the base, and I am terrible at computers.
Oh, I'm pretty good at computers.
I heard that.
I am basically.
I
a
hear
walking
disco
computer.
music in the background.
Yeah, Wes must be back. It's a party.
For all the listeners at home, Wes is at the roller rink in Glendale, California. It's an all
pretty,
yes.
pretty impressive to play Star Wars and do roller disco. Okay, so what we were thinking, Kev, is that we would have ASIG do the computers check to find the frequency.
Yep.
I would try to assist him whatever way I can to show him how my particular ship works.
Sure. Okay. So ASIG, and basically what I'm going to be doing is whatever ASIG, if you get some advantages and whatnot, that's going to be added to your roll. Hero. So
right.
ASIG, go ahead and give me a computers check against 1 red, please.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to turn Wes down just a little bit at Google Hangouts if I can, just because the music's making it hard to hear the Dungeon Master. So I don't know if that's a possible thing.
Wes, are you able to, if you go into the Google Plus call, you can click your to mute yourself?
That'd be great.
Not disconnect, but just mute.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
cool.
unmute
Thanks,
when you want to talk. Thank you.
Yeah.
Much
That's
obliged.
Awesome. Okay, so ASIG, you're making a roll. 1 red.
I got 3 advantages and 1 failure.
3 advantages and a failure. Okay. So you're not able to locate it right. Yeah, right. You're no idea where the heck this thing is. So, but with the advantages, you've got a rough idea. So what I'll say is you can, Kiro, you can make an attempt. It'll be a little bit harder, but you will get a 1 blue from it.
Okay.
Or you can try and get to kind of stall and get ASIG to try again. I'm just trying to think about the consequence.
I mean, what if I try to fly low over the general area where he thought it might be?
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Get really close, and it'll be kind of dangerously close.
Sure, yeah, love that. So why don't you give us a piloting check against 1 red?
Okay, so I have 3 yellows and 1 green. And that's 1 red, you said?
Yes, please.
Correct? Okay, here we go. 4 advantages.
So the ship goes
Stop
down.
hitting the top of the trees.
Kind of rattling along.
How's that? Is that helping?
Would take 1 strain. There's kind of sparks fly out of one of the cockpits, and Dr. Packabar sort of shakes his head. Same old Kiro. So ASIG, it's not helping an awful lot.
I'm trying my hardest.
All right, I'll try again.
Actually, here, Wes.
Yes.
Why don't you give me let's see here.
Can't find it anymore.
Give me a vigilance check, please, against 1 red. So you guys are sort of skimming along here. ASIG's like, I can't pick it up. It's not down there. And Kiro's like, come on. I can't get any lower. And we sort of cut over to Dre, who sort of closes his eyes and reaches out with the force.
Cool.
Feel the force surround you. Feel it penetrate you. Not that way.
My cervix.
Oh man, dead air is bad.
Wes, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I had to reopen my dice. Anyway,
What did you get?
So I got 1 success, 1 advantage, 1 triumph, 1 despair.
Okay.
What's the total?
Wow. Jesus.
Oh, that's a terrific result.
That's amazing.
That's my result.
Awesome.
I did everything right except for the tragic thing that
Right.
So what he what he says is, Dre sort of stands up from where he's sitting near the back of the cockpit. He walks over, and Asig's still, swearing in binary, and he lays his hand down on your shoulder, Kiro, and says, "There, go there."
Okay.
And you sort of, hit down, and we're gonna make a piloting check for you.
Okay. What difficulty?
I can tell you what the despair is as you're going down, you see, looking over on your kind of like, space radar thing or whatnot, there's a very faint blip that sort of, and then it disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And what the viewers see is that same bug-shaped ship. It's kind of flying in your wake.
Uh-huh.
The Triumph is, let's see here. I'm open for pitches on this. It could be like a massive bonus to your piloting check, but I kind of want to see how that works out.
Maybe we survive.
Well, you're changing the ending of the adventures. You all die in the atmosphere.
Right.
The end. Well,
That's what you
we're out
pay
of
good
time,
money for,
folks.
Thanks for
Right?
watching. Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
I mean, you could, apart from just nailing it. So you know exactly where it is.
I think.
I wonder if there's some canyon-like area that would give me a way to dive down and try to evade.
I got it here. I got an idea.
Okay, good.
So you're going to make your check, Dre. As you were focusing on this, you sort of stop, and there's a feeling that's drawing you back to the engine room.
Okay.
So
I stand up and walk that way.
okay, so you head back to the engine room. We'll deal with Kiro's roll first, and then we'll cut back to you arriving in the engine room.
All right.
And Kiro, so the difficulty of this will be 2 reds and 1 purple.
And 1 purple. Okay. Here we go. 1 success out of all of that. I'll take it.
Do you want to narrate for us the rocky approach through that, and then the smooth black roiling surface of the liquid helium as you get down there?
Yeah. So I think the atmosphere is really choppy. So we're kind of moving around a lot as I kind of try to land it. And I'm actually having trouble. The whole, flight stick is I'm almost losing control of it, and I'm trying to hold on. And I wind up realizing that because of the wind currents, I got to do a flip upside down, do a barrel roll. And then, the ship has those wings going both vertically and horizontally. One of them barely clips the surface and sprays helium everywhere.
Yeah.
And then we kind of skid and bump along the liquid helium as I start to invoke all of the retro thrusters to stop us.
Yeah.
And so we finally come to a halt, and we're just on the repulsor power hovering over the surface. Awesome.
And what you see out the front windscreen is first off, I appreciate the commitment to the conditions, guys. 4 points all around for that.
Thank you.
What you see before you is a kind of like a triangular shaped structure that seems to be, it has a bunch of stanchions or whatever sticking out from a star, from the central base, floating on this sea.
Wow.
Cool.
Just above with repulsors. And you can now clearly, ASIG, you can clearly pick up this, pwing, pwing, the pinging of the navigation beacon. There's also it's asking for an approach code, which you have. You punch it in, and we cut to the exterior of this giant triangular, kind of almost like a high-tech ziggurat. The doors on it kind of break, and we see all this ice that's formed on the outside break and shatter down, and then it begins opening up. You have your place where you can land.
Nice.
And Kiro, you turn around to congratulate Dre. You're like, Dre, and he's gone.
What?
And we cut.
Oh no.
To the engine room where Dre, you are, the doors, open up, and you walk in. And as you're getting closer, you can feel that pit in your stomach is getting worse. It's a horrible feeling of something being wrong. And as you're looking around, you can see that this is not really. Is Dre trained in mechanics at all?
Not trained. No.
No. Okay. Cool. So it's a complete, strange. Like you're not sure what you'd be looking for in here, but you can feel that there's something between the hydro, whatever. I really should have. The Star Trek RPGs have some great like technobabble random charts. I really should have made a roll on that.
Right.
So this is between the dilithium chamber and the intermix, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somewhere,
cool.
some viewer is having a stroke for mixing
Right.
track.
Exactly.
So you reach between these two kind of like complex sort of chambers, and again, I guess the Celestial Bantha has been like rebuilt and built together and whatever else. So many times there's so many different things in there, but you reach through and you touch something. You kind of think, Kiro, is it one thermal detonator or multiple ones you have?
I have just one.
Just the one.
Yep.
So we sort of pan over to where your belt is, that sort of like all-purpose utility belt that every fucking Star Wars character carries.
Of course, yes.
We have your thermal detonator, which we saw you replace in the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Chekhov's thermal detonator.
Right.
Let's just shoot the thermal detonator. It won't blow
Trey,
up and nothing will happen.
touch this, and you can see there's a glowing red light from within. Someone has implanted the thermal detonator in the engine.
Okay, that's not good.
Are you going to tell us this?
Wes?
We cut back to the Celestial Bantha kind of, approaching and landing in
We're
this.
back in the cockpit and we're like, guys, I think I love you.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
I've never felt closer to anyone. I feel my life is kind of complete. I wasn't programmed to feel this much. And I feel this much.
I feel I can trust you guys enough to confess that ASIG, while you're asleep, I've been touching you in inappropriate ways.
Oh, I know. I don't actually sleep. I'm a droid. I
Oh, you knew all the
for
time.
you.
Oh man.
You guys land, and then the doors, those massive doors, close. And all Pakabar has to say as soon as all that's done is, "Took you long enough."
Yeah.
What are you doing with this? You've know enough to know once you sense it and look at it, you're like, oh shit, and it looks like it's actually wired in some way, like as if it's a placed charge.
So I couldn't just pull it out and.
Well, you could do that. The consequences of doing so.
Sure, go ahead.
So I walk back towards the cockpit area and calmly and just say, you know that I think someone has placed your thermal detonator into the engines.
Kiro, your hand goes to the thermal
good
detonator.
one, Trey.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like that's a good one.
Sorry,
Oh my
step on your
God.
fucking delivery.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I start running.
Okay.
I grab Pakabar by the neck. Actually, no, I don't. That's gross. I grab him by the lapels.
Hey, what are you doing? What's this?
What did you do? What did you do?
What do you mean, what did I do?
I'm gonna need your help, ASIG.
None of the rest of us would have put this thermal detonator in the engines.
Who put a thermal detonator in the engines?
You obviously, not
Me?
us.
Why would I do that? I want to get here.
That's what I'm asking you. Why would you do that?
Why would I do that?
Look, this is getting us nowhere.
This conversation could go in
We're all
circles for
gonna
a
die.
very long time. All right, I have mechanical skill. I run
Oh,
back.
good. Okay, good.
Not before throwing him against the bulkheads and running.
Ow, what are you doing?
Okay, so I want to get back into the engine room and see, just try to figure out what the hell is going on.
Pakabar yells down the corridor. This is not endearing me to the rebellion.
I loved you in American Splendor.
All right.
ASIG,
Yep.
what is your mechanics skill?
3 greens.
3 green.
What about Kai? What's yours?
I have 1 yellow, 1 green.
Okay. So your difficulty, Kai, to deal with this is 3 purples.
Okay.
Can I help him?
Yeah. What is the? What do we? Kev, what is?
Remember the triumph I bent from before?
Yeah.
ASIG?
Mm-hmm.
You placed this.
Yeah. I know.
Oh.
Oh.
So this was the despair. Was the
Was him
Wow.
that he was going to betray him and set off a thing.
Nice.
The triumph is this. So
That's great. Hey, Asig, what are you doing? You're just standing there.
Asig?
Everybody get off the ship.
Why?
I'm gonna try to fix this thing.
My
But I don't
stuff's
want you
here.
guys to die.
Can you fix it?
I don't know. I'm gonna try. How much of a memory do I
Look.
have of like where it is or what it is?
you have distinct now that you've seen this and it's been brought to your attention. You have distinct recollection of having placed this.
Would it do any help if I helped him, or if he helped me, because he knows about it? Who
This
gets
is
the
my
better
fault.
role?
I think.
Well, that's what the role will sort of. Okay, so if you want to just sort of investigate it without affecting any change, I'll let you go ahead and make that roll against mechanics roll against 3 purples, and we'll just see what whether
Are
it can be.
we
Yeah.
under time crunch though.
Yeah. How is there is it on a
Do I
timer?
know if it's a timer or what is it?
There, well, from this is kind of what this is going to. You can tell it's been wired into it, but you can't quite tell. This is what the roll's going to tell us.
I see. Okay.
Is how much you're able to determine from this.
Okay.
But what do I remember? I just remember doing it. I don't remember what I set.
You remember placing it and wiring it in.
But
But I
not
don't
how
remember
it
if there's
works.
a timer.
Right.
No. Oh no,
So
sorry. Forgive me. You do know it's not a timer. It's something
Okay.
that you're going to trigger with a specific, like a specific code that Packabar was going to give you. Hey,
Okay.
speaking of which, guys, where's
Where's
Dr.
Pat?
Packabar?
Oh shit. I'll run back towards Packabar. You guys figured this out.
You, as you start making your way towards the front of the ship, it feels there's a really vicious fucking breeze.
Oh shit.
Mhm.
So the ramp is down.
The ramp is down.
Gonk droids can't run.
No, they cannot.
Okay, so I'm gonna
Get Dre on it. See if he can.
I'm gonna
locate
grab
his
Dre
mind.
and ask him if he can try to seek out give
All
us
right,
any
let's
info.
roll on this thing. See if
All
we
right.
know what the setting is. Although maybe I need to get away from this in case I'm designed to set it
Still-
off.
It's possible. I say let Kai take a look. The first look.
So
All right.
let's do this, guys. Let's everyone take their. We'll take. You guys can all act one set at a time here, and then we'll just sort of roll with as things play out. So who wants
Right.
to take the first action?
I will take the first swipe at
Yeah.
trying to in case ASIG is
Okay. Go ahead
Is-
and give me a mechanics check against 3 purples.
okay. Is there any? Can anyone help me, or is that can ASIG help me, or is that?
I think
Here's
you're on
my
your own,
action.
but
I'm
you
going
can-
to. I'm going to
Okay.
secure myself to the ship so that I can't log into anything and my arms can't move.
Okay.
Okay,
All
and
right.
you can spend a destiny point if you have any left, Eric, to
I-
add a
I-
green.
I think I have 2
Or
left.
you can upgrade a green to a yellow.
I should add a green. I think.
Okay.
So I will spend 1. I think I have 1 point left after that. The end is 1 triumph, 1 threat.
Nice.
Okay, so you look at this, and I think what you could do, and you can just say with a triumph, we can say that now that you've actually looked at this, this is actually pretty easy. You can take it out, but I don't think you can prevent it from. You can't put it back in the default position. This is going to go off. It's a question of where.
So
Okay.
I got to hold it and basically run outside and figure out where we're going to toss this thing.
Yeah, and
before-
you could pass it to someone else, so they could hold it off. It's not like you're stuck with a dead man switch or something like that. It's just that it's
Okay.
going to go off. It's
Right. No matter what.
Do you
All
know
right.
when it's going to go off?
Well, whenever it's just that it can't go into a deactivated position.
It's
Yeah.
a grenade. It's a grenade with the pin missing, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
but
Who
what is
wants
the
to go
set?
next?
What is the set? What sets it off?
Letting it go. I mean,
No.
is it like a grenade with a pin missing in
Because
that
it's
like?
wired.
No. So the
Oh.
issue is that basically like a good it's sort of like the old west nitro kind of thing where like a good jostle or
whack
something like
it,
that
yeah.
could set this thing off.
Okay, so
Okay.
you'd have to. It has to be moved very carefully out.
Okay.
Um,
Who wants to go next?
I think we should have Dre go next to see if he gets any sense, if he can do that, of where Dr. Packabar might have gone.
Yeah, run out the door and see where he is. It's
Well, I'm
probably
gonna
a
do
big
that.
landing
I'm
zone.
gonna do that next. I just
Okay.
figured, just in case.
Dre, do you have any force points left?
That's a question I wanted to ask. How often do they refresh?
at the start of a session.
Is that destiny points or force points for a Jedi doing force stuff?
Same thing.
Force.
Oh, okay.
Then I think I only have one left.
Okay. So what you could do is you could use your precognition thing again, or foretelling, or whatever it's called.
Foresee, I think.
Yes. Okay.
If you wanted.
Yeah. I'll do that.
So what I'll say is that you sort of once again you got that like flash of insight, and you find yourself, when Kiro comes running over and sees the ramp down, you're standing at the bottom, having just got there, and you can see Pakabar kind of he's racing along, in that like awkward Paul Giamatti run,
Yeah.
and he's gesturing to Dum Dum like, "Come on!"
And is he running into the base?
Deeper into the base. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
As you guys reach that point too, and you look around, you can see there are rows of battle droids that are all racked up, like ready to sort of be, placed on some other convoy or caravan or whatnot. You know those big like clamshell things that dispense battle droids.
Yep.
It's basically like these things are the dispensary for that.
Okay.
Cool.
Can I hack into myself?
Hack into yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, self gratification.
Whatever, Jack. Yeah, exactly.
I just
What you
get
do
so
in your off time?
excited. Things get tough. I get so excited. I really need to self-satisfy
I'm helping.
myself.
I'm helping. Yes, you can absolutely. Are you trying to like sort of?
I'm trying to find out what code he put in there.
Yes. Go ahead and give me a computers check. It's your own subsystem, so I'll give you one free upgrade, which means you'll either get one of your greens becomes a yellow, or you get an extra green.
Yeah.
And the difficulty is 3 reds and 1 purple.
That's an equal shot.
Mhm.
Can I use anything?
Yes, if you got a force point left, you could spend the force point on
Another green.
Yeah, another green.
Mhm.
Or you could, if you've got another green, you could upgrade that to a yellow.
I got 4 successes.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
This droid is clean. No other. You did have that subroutine ready to go, but now that you've sort of triggered the memory of it, it seems to have disrupted it.
Oh,
You've
okay,
got,
good.
Yeah,
So
no
now
other
I can-
subroutines.
Now I can help Kai.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. So Asig's kind of standing there for a moment. Kai, you're like, "Come on, can you help here?" And he's standing.
Yes.
Yes. So, Kiro, you're last one to go here. You sort of come racing down the platform.
What distance, like range distance, is he from me at this point if I were to run after him?
So he's about medium distance. So it's 2 range categories away.
Okay.
But there is something else you can see.
Okay, what's that?
You look to your left. There are 2 Gand approaching. Each of them raising their rifles in your direction.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a reminder, what Zibith and Siller look like.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna have to throw a stun grenade at these guys, these women.
Okay.
If there's a time to do that.
There is, yeah. So they are, I think, medium as well. So you'd have to spend a maneuver to move.
To move
Why
closer.
don't you
Yeah.
EpiPen both of them?
What's that?
EpiPen both of them.
They're
Aha! Knocking
they're
you
too-
out.
they're too far. They're too far.
Oh.
I guess. Well, I can't do both at the same time anyway. So, I will start out by trying to stun them.
Okay. So short range is 1 purple.
On purple.
So, and then these guys, hold on, let me see if there's anything special. I think they upgrade 1, so it's actually 1 red.
1 red. Okay.
Bastards.
And I got banked right now, the 1 despair. If someone rolls a despair,
Yeah.
Deck Officer Qualls is going to break out of the box.
That's totally fair. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens.
You
Yeah.
should have let us kill him.
Okay, I did not get a despair, but I got 3 successes and 1 advantage.
Nice. Okay. So you toss this thing over, and then they sort of like, they turn, and they're not a chicken. I'm just really shitty at making GAN sounds.
You don't have the regional accent down.
Okay, and they...
So-
Okay, so how much damage does it do?
So it's disorient 3.
Okay.
The damage is 8 stun.
How many advantages did you roll?
I rolled 1 advantage.
Okay, so you need 2 to trigger a active trait on a
right.
on a weapon.
That's right.
Right. So that doesn't have, but you do hit them. The 3 gets added to the damage, though.
Yeah. Okay. So that is 11 damage to each of them.
Wow. Okay, so 11 strain too, because it's a stun
Strain.
grenade.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. All right. So yeah, that is they are both sort of blown off their feet with the pulse and kind of are a little woozy.
Cool. I'll wait till the next round, but I'm basically gonna plan to run up to them because now I'm 1 band closer.
Sure.
And I'll do what I could do on the next turn.
Okay. So then, last but not least, Dre, what are you doing this round?
I'm going to, I guess, I'm gonna stick with Kiro and protect Kiro.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome.
So if they try to shoot at him, I used parry or reflect.
Awesome.
Cool. That's great.
So one thing I forgot to ask as well,
Mhm.
which is an all-important thing, what color is your lightsaber?
Oh, blue. Blue.
Awesome. So it perfectly complements the icy setting
Right.
too.
Yes.
Awesome.
So yeah, I draw my lightsaber then in this round and
And then you'll great.
Sure.
Awesome.
And you take, this imposing, defensive stance. Okay, so then the bounty hunters will scramble to their feet, and then each of them will take a pot shot at Kiro. And is it that they add a black for parry, or that it reduces damage? I can't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't know.
Let's see.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So I rolled a triumph.
Okay, well that's gonna work.
Yeah. But what I'm not going to do is, it's not going to be a crit hit. I want to do something different.
All right.
So
So
a
the two of
triumph
them
for
hop
an
up and they
alien.
start, firing away at you. You take 8 points of damage. Go ahead and reduce that by your soak value.
Yeah. So I took 3 soaks, so I took 5.
Okay, you're hit.
Yeah,
But then
that's not good.
the other sister, one of the 2, fires at you wildly, and the shot misses. But then it hits some control mechanism somewhere, and kind of like dry cleaner out of control style. The droids begin sort of like and like the ice sort of cracks on them, and they all go down, and they begin to start like getting ready to dispense.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay,
But
so that was it for
like-
them, and Pakabar is going to keep booking further into the process, or to the process, into the
outpost, the
complex.
base. Mhm.
And then he turns and yells at Dum Dum, "Come on!"
Shoot Dum Dum.
I'll do that on my next.
Shoot Dum Dum.
Dum Dum can only move 1 because he's so slow. So he's at long. Actually, he's at extreme from where you guys would be now because you moved 1 away.
Right.
Okay, so top next round. Heroes go first. What do you want to do?
That's
Let's
us,
see.
the heroes.
That's us. I mean, we've
So
got
back
this. Do
in-
you want to deal with the thermal detonator first? Do we
Sure.
wanna,
So we're in the engine again.
Yeah, go
And
ahead.
so that the lights on it are flashing. You guys are sort of both looking at it. Kai's handling it as if it's like fine porcelain.
I think we should get this out of here and maybe
from him and run as smoothly as possible.
good idea. You can probably run way smoother than I do. Though I have a 3 agility. I don't know whether like droids are necessarily inherently smoother because they're machines. Because if they are, then by all means. But I don't know how the rolls are going to play out on this.
Okay. Well,
So
okay.
Yeah,
My plan is to run out the front of the ship,
yeah.
Notice-
Actually,
all the droids, and say, "Hey, brothers," and then throw it at all the droids.
I was going to suggest throwing it out into the sea of frozen liquid nitrogen or whatever, just because I don't know if these droids
Let's
are,
chit chat.
all right. Well, the droids. You know what? Why not? Let's throw up the damn droids. This is not a rebel base. This is an abandoned. Is this an abandoned?
this was a former
Droid facility.
like assembly area
Okay.
for the CIS.
All right, but it's not like the rebels have taken this over yet. It was just
No.
where we were dropping him. Okay.
Yeah.
This is just because it's a secret base and no one seemed to know about it. If the Republic didn't know about it, the Empire probably doesn't know about it. So it was a handy place to sort of
Okay.
meet up and exchange.
Got it.
So, all right. So mechanically, it's one maneuver to grab the thing, another maneuver to start running out to the deck, and then another maneuver to sort of run closer to where the droids are, so they're within short range. And we sort of these droids are sort of being dispensed and kind of like Roger, Roger, and stops forward. And the next one, Roger, Roger, and steps forward. Next round, you'll be able to hurl this thing at them. Who wants to go next, Kiro or Dre?
I have an idea, Kira. I can try to take a shot at Dum Dum. I'm at extreme range right now, so first I want to do is spend a maneuver to get one range closer. So I'm at long.
Yep.
Can I spend a destiny point to take another maneuver?
You could incur 2 strain.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm going to do that because, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have a special heavy blaster pistol that's convertible into a rifle, which makes it long range.
Awesome.
I have to use a different skill, ranged heavy, which I'm not quite as good at, but I feel like it's worth a shot. But I will use a destiny point for the attack.
Okay. So 2 moves then. He is at medium range then. So 2 purples.
2 purples. Okay.
And actually, I'm going to give you a blue as well because he is slow as fuck. And it's very much like hitting the broadside of a small ship.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So here we go.
A small Academy Award nominated shed.
Well, he's
Exactly.
shooting Dum Dum, not.
Shooting Dum Dum. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I was
Don't
trying
you say
to.
that Dum Dum's performance wasn't, jaw
Oh,
dropping.
no. He was nominated for a Golden Globe. But,
Right, of course.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Going
So
crazy.
I unfortunately got one. I got 1 failure and 5 advantages.
5 advantages. Okay. So I think what you do is you set it up so Gonk, you fire once and it sort of skits in front of Dum Dum and he kind of and turns and he's sort of like circling. So someone else
cool.
trying to hit him will have +2 or +1 blue to hit him.
Dre, do you have any kind of ranged weapon? If you do.
Do I get to do something since
Oh, that's
ASIC has
true.
You mean
Oh yes, of
ranged
course,
weapon?
Kai. Yeah.
No, I don't have a ranged weapon. No.
Yeah, okay.
So
I
Kai,
do.
you've kind of come running down the following after ASIG, and you see now the scene in front of you. There's these 2 Gans that are on, at one end.
Okay.
There's a bunch of battle droids being dispensed, and there's a Gonk droid doing circles near you guys, and there's Pakabar shouting at this Gonk droid.
I'm gonna just what I know, shooting the Gonk droid. If I do it on stun, is that like that'll stop it moving, but without putting a big smoking hole in it, basically.
I think a good chance. Yeah.
Okay, well we'll find out. I'm going to shoot. I'm gonna take a shot at the Gonk droid.
Okay. Now, Kai, you told me that you were going to incur 2 strain to aim so you could get 1 extra blue, right?
I did tell you that.
Yeah,
yes.
the connection sometimes.
Yeah.
So the
I was on my way to because I have the skill. What is that
sweet.
called? There's a bounty hunter skill, which is like it's like something kind of aim, and now I got to find it in the damn sheet.
deadly
because
aim, I think it's called.
Yeah, something like that. Hang on, I got to find the tab and then go in there. It's got to load. And okay, it is called precise aim.
Precise aim, nice.
Cool.
Suffer a number of strain no greater than ranks in precise aim, which is 1, and then reduce the target's melee and range defense by that number.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
So I take 1 strain.
so it's 1 purple is your target number.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
and
so
blue from Kiro's positioning shot.
okay, well, great because I have 1 green, 3 yellows, 1 blue, and then I'm playing against 1 purple.
Yeah.
Let's see how badly this goes. 2 successes, 5 advantages.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the equivalent of like a triumph. So how does this Gonk droid go down?
I shoot it. It gets enveloped in this blue lightning. It spins faster than you've ever seen a Gonk droid spin,
The sound.
and then just plonk hangs over sideways like that.
Okay, so it hits boom, and then you see the that hidden display kind of pops up, and we see the flickering hologram of Pakabar saying, "According to plan." According to plan. According to plan.
That's funny.
That's great. Nice,
Pakabar,
nice
Bad
shot, Kai.
dick.
Pakabar uses his action to go, and
He's
Dre,
not
what
a
do you
very
do?
good strategist, is he?
Well,
Does he shake his? Why you?
Yes.
I guess I'm going to advance on the two sisters.
Absolutely.
Some movements on and attack them with my lightsaber.
Okay, so you go racing in. You can easily close the distance. The Tumultuous have, they've got their rifles out, and go ahead and make your attack. Melee difficulty is always 2 purples.
Okay.
The silence.
the suspense is killing me.
Yeah, suspense. I just have to double check this combat roll. It's just my lightsaber, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
Your
just
lightsaber skill.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is right. Yes. Okay, yeah. Right, so I got 3 successes and 1 threat.
Nice. Okay, so I think that you go racing in. You carve the barrel of one of them, and then cut them down, and the other gets a shot off. So you're clipped for 1 strain. It's just a surface burn, and you turn, and you're now sort of face to face with a surviving sister.
Okay.
Okay. So then on their turn, she is going to try and shoot you. I don't remember offhand. I'm going to just make the difficulty 1 higher because they're engaged with you.
And can I parry this?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Or reflect it? Or both?
I'm going to say you reflect it, actually, just because we're cutting into time here.
Yeah.
The blaster goes up, it fires. You just deftly knock the blaster bolt back on her. Wow! It falls back down dead.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay.
And then you sort of turn back to look at the assembled group of droids that are now a slow army that is beginning to assemble. Okay, so then Pakabar again is just sort of shaking his little claws at you
I threw
guys.
the grenade.
Top of the So
Yeah.
Did I get it in time?
you did, yeah. So we sort of top of the next round. The slowly accumulating group of droids. You toss the grenade in there, and then it goes off this massive explosion, and the whole facility kind of shifts ever so slightly to the side, and Pakabar from the other end of the hangar or whatever says, "What have you done?"
Hey, everybody get to the ship.
Okay, so Pakabar kind of looks at the fallen Gonk droid, and he's like, "But dum-dum!" And then the whole thing shifts again. Outside, we see that the stanchions all on one side have kind of touched the surface of the liquid helium, and then there's white ice that's forming up on this. And as it goes along, there's kind of this cascade failure of repulsors where it falls and then gets in more, and it's beginning to shift more and more as it slides down into the helium.
You don't
What
fuck
happens
with the
in the
man's
hangar, guys?
brain. Don't fuck with the man's brain.
But we are gonna die unless we get off this thing. So we're gonna run for it.
I finish my sentence.
So what happens here, guys? The droids are still dispensing as they're going up, but every one that hits the ground, it slides down and kind of slams into the next one, Roger, Roger. Roger, Roger.
I say we get the hell back on that ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to yell after him. Get back on the ship if you want to live.
He looks and kind of turns and runs away. We see Dum Dum kind of sparks are flying out of the bottom as it slides down and slams into this pile of accumulating what do you call it? Battle droids.
Mm-hmm.
You guys all race onto the ship, and it rocks back and forth again. Dre, are you joining everybody?
I will be the last on board. Make sure
Nice.
everyone gets on.
So everyone else is on. You turn, you survey the surrounding. You can see that there's still that little flickering hologram of like just according to plan, according to plan, according to plan, and then bam, this other droid hits on top of it, and it finally goes out. You deactivate your lightsaber. You race onto the ship. Kiro, why don't I'm going to get ASIG to give me a computer's check to get that that hangar door open again. That'll just be 1 red, and then Kiro, I'm going to need a piloting check for you to punch it and get out of there.
Okay, and what will be my difficulty?
Yeah.
And
So the
I'm
difficulty for you will be 2 red, 1 purple again.
2 red,
I
1.
got 2 successes and 1 triumph.
All right.
That door really opens. It
Oh.
really opens.
So the
However,
door
I
opens,
got-
is ASIG. You're going along with that, and then you look over at the co-pilot seat where Kai has positioned himself, and you're gesturing towards something, and finally you go over and bam, hit this button, and this tractor beam it goes out, and then we see the Gonk droid pulled out from the pile of these fallen droids, and it's sort of like hanging underneath the vessel. Kiro, go ahead and give me a piloting check.
I got 1 success and 1 despair.
1 to spare.
It gets out of the box. It's out of the box.
I forgot the keys.
Are just barely open, and as you go, you jerk it to the side,
Yeah.
which throws the Gonk droid up, and it slams into the side of the thing and shatters into a million pieces.
The despair is the guy gets out of the box.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
Oh no, yeah, that's fair enough. I did say that. So you sort of you zoom out of the thing, and then it will be a post-credit scene where he gets out of the box. Then you zoom out of this thing basically in time for the cascade failing of the repulsors to continue building up until the whole ziggurat itself sort of sloughs underneath this surface. With a progressive spread of that ice around the whole structure until it drifts below and there's nothing left.
Awesome.
You're still,
Seems like a bad
rattling as
design.
you're fighting your way towards the exit, and then you break orbit
Cool.
just in time to hear the transmission of the arriving rebel rendezvous.
Oh, awesome.
Oops.
So we sort of, cut back to you guys. It's now the 2 ships kind of linked up, and Pakabar now in chains, or the Star Wars equivalent thereof.
Binders.
Binders, yeah.
Yeah. I know a
This
couple.
is. I was on your side. None of this had.
Did he survive? it?
What's
Yeah,
that?
he ran to the ship when you told him to.
Oh, I
did
thought he
one
ran
left.
the other direction.
No, you told
No,
him
he-
to run to the ship,
yeah.
and he did.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So he says, "You can. I'm trying to help you."
So we did we tractor in the Dum Dum? Did we tractor in Dum Dum?
You did. Yep. Yep.
Okay. So we just I play back the holotape of him making the deal with the bounty hunters for this whole thing.
According to plan.
Yeah.
According to plan.
Yeah.
He's like, that's fabrications. Your droid planted that. And
How would we
Save
fabricate anything?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just sort of taken away by the rebel operatives. They say, we'll make sure that we get the we'll get the intel that we need from him. And this guy says that, well, we've got experience with him. And you hear from inside, Dash, what are you doing here? And the ship that you guys have rendezvoused is actually the ship you see on here. It is the Argent Dawn.
Oh, nice.
So they're gone,
Dash
and then
Vega.
it separates, and we see you guys. What do you guys want to add for the last scene of the session?
Oh,
Maybe pizza party.
ASIG is doing a little droid dance in the middle.
Right.
Hey, as a celebration, let's throw DJ out the airlock.
Did we ever find out what the droid possessed? What information the droid possessed?
Well, here's the thing: you guys handed over that droid.
But we
You still
copied
have
it.
R2
Oh, our own
4K.
copy. That's
Yeah.
true.
So our happy credit sequence is us
yeah.
opening that up and going, whoa.
Exactly.
What do we want to do now?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
So
perfect.
as you guys go, the camera sort of sees you guys all celebrating in that main room. You're talking about what you're going to do and whatnot. Dre is sitting there meditating on, like, this is his first mission out with the Rebel Alliance, and kind of his brow furrows, and he looks down the corridor, and the camera sort of has this long follow down it until we get to one of the quarters where that crate was stored, and then we see finally it pops open, and then Iris is in, and we hear the blast of the closing Star Wars music.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Holy shit,
Directed
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. That was great. Yes, thank you.
There's a low-level administrator loose on our ship.
Awesome.
There's a low-level Imperial administrator loose on our ship.
That's
And
over
he's
the
got
credits.
a clipboard.
There is one final credit sequence where we see, for the people who left early, they missed this thing completely. But the people who stick around to the end, what they see at the end is a room where Captain Aristes is waiting.
Awesome.
And it's this dull, gray interior. And then the door opens and we don't see the front. We see this guy walk in and sit down. And we see the back of his head. He's got brown hair. And he says, "You understand the mission." The guy nods. "You understand the risks?" Wow. "Then you will be perfectly suited for this, Agent 76. And we turn around and we see in an ISB uniform is DJ Qualls.
Oh no. Awesome. That's the perfect last image.
Wow. There's a lot of flashbacks that do a lot of damage.
For those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this very, very special Star Wars session. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about this, now I will say, if any comments with respect to me not applying the rules, then you're absolutely right.
We had fun. That was the important thing.
But please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. You can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, all one word, plural, or you can reach me at dungeonmusings@gmail.com. Thank you to Ptolemy, to Eric, to Wes for making this session, and a very, very special thank you to George for making this session possible. George, that was a very, very generous donation.
Yes. Thank you, both of you. And thank you, Kevin, for a fabulously wonderful time that we've had here today.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
It was awesome.
For those listening at home as well, you may notice that there are two links in the comment section, or rather in the description of the video. One of those is to the charity fundraising campaign that actually made this session possible. It's called Heroes Save Villages, and it is something where the channel is paired up with SOS Children's Villages International, a really terrific charity that provides both advocacy and direct benefits for kids living in really difficult circumstances. If you enjoyed the session, if you enjoy the channel, I'd encourage you to just consider clicking through, learning more about the session, and seeing some of the rewards we've got available there. All the money that's donated to the campaign goes directly to SOS Children's Villages to help them do the very good work they're doing. And one of the rewards that you can claim is a session just like this one. Of course,
well, maybe you don't want to be just like this one.
You could.
It will not have the terrific players that I've been blessed with tonight. Guys, thanks so much for making this such a pleasant and fun endeavor. And thanks for indulging me in my many flashbacks.
Now it's great.
It was awesome.
Incredibly fun.
Worth it.
Yeah,
No, I
thank
like
you
to
so much.
This adventure is a flashback from some other larger adventure.
Exactly.
It is.
That's
It all
right.
links in.
That's right.
So
All right, thanks, Kevin. It was great.
thanks, folks.
Thanks, Kevin.
And we will see you again very soon.